there to not only to do their part from a strategic standpoint, be in the right position, be in the right places at the right time, but not get undisciplined and take poor penalties at the wrong time because their ego is bruised and someone took advantage of them, then being able to hold all that in check. So there's just so many dynamics to think about for a team in order to overcome all of the obstacles to win a championship. And it's fascinating to me. It's one of the reasons I was able to play 26 years, because once you do it, you understand how fun it is, but also how complicated and intricate it is to kind of get not only the team from a physical standpoint to come together, but how a team comes together emotionally, mentally, and the spirituality around a team, and the respect that lives inside that locker room is incredible.
Mad Dog Sports Radio has the best sports talk in the business, covering sports with a passion and knowledge you need. Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM 86, and the SXM app.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 7 p.m., Washington Capitals take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Capitals on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 950, Hurricanes on Internet 924. 9:30 p.m., Winnipeg Jets face the Dallas Stars. Jets on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 951. Stars on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 928. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 7 p.m., Washington Capitals take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Capitals on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 950, Hurricanes on Internet 924. 9:30 p.m., Winnipeg Jets face the Dallas Stars. Jets on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 951. Stars on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 928. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 7 p.m., Washington Capitals take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Capitals on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 950, Hurricanes on Internet 924. 9:30 p.m., Winnipeg Jets face the Dallas Stars. Jets on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 951. Stars on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 928. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates.
MLB Network Radio is your home for 24/7 baseball talk, featuring on-site coverage of every major event from spring training through the World Series, and expert analysis from former general managers and players. SiriusXM, Channel 89.
Tampa Bay Lightning head coach John Cooper stopped by for a morning skate with Gord Stellick and Scott Laughlin on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on SiriusXM Channel 91 to talk the keys to his success over the years and the challenge of getting to the Stanley Cup final 3 years in a row.
John, I'm going to ask you to be a little bit self-analytical, and, being in the business that you're in and knowing how successful you've been and what drives you and motivates you, what do you think has been the key to your success over the years? I mean, every league you've been in, you've won, you've had the staying power, and you've had all kinds of championship pedigree. If you say, hey, look, I'm still going strong, I'm still chasing another ring, what is it that keeps you going, and what is it in particular that you feel has made you as successful as you've been?
I would say there's a couple things. Internally, it's the fire is still burning. And so I think that first and foremost is the biggest thing, because when you lose your passion for it, and I've watched it happen to people, then you might as well you should get yourself out, because you're just doing yourself and your team a disservice. So that passion is first and foremost the big thing. I would sit here say on the other side of things, like Jeff Vinik as an owner, and it kind of goes back to the previous question about stability. And that's one of the things we've had. And so Julian Breezeball was my general manager in the minors and now the NHL. So we've been together for how many years? We had Steve Yzerman in the early part of that, and he kind of was like the mentor. He was the actual one that brought me in, but we've had that stability. Only 2 GMs, but both of them work together. We've had one owner, one coach, basically, since I've been there, one captain, and it's this core group of guys that have all stuck together. And I think we've kind of, I don't know how to explain it, you've kind of passed the coach-player relationship because we've been there so long, and we all just have this common goal of what we need to do. And there's a lot of pride, a lot of passion with the group of guys we have, and then Julian's done a great job of kind of filling in. And when I say fill in, it's like getting the Nick Pauls, getting the Brandon Hagels, guys that are still long-term guys, but that weren't, pseudo drafted into our system. And it's, we've been really fortunate that it's worked out the way it has. But I truly believe the stability, the belief, and the passion of the same group of people that have been together, and that's what's really helped us. It takes its toll, both physically and mentally, and I give our players credit, to come back and make the playoffs the next year. But, now we've been one and done for 2 years. We've had some breaks. We've had a little bit of turnover, and we need to get back. We need to get back to those, making some runs in the playoffs. And but I will sit here and say, I'd be remiss to say, those years, they do take a toll, and maybe it has taken a toll in the last, couple years on us. And but I can tell now that, a couple years of being bounced in the first round, it's just a different vibe coming in, especially this year of seeing all the players. And there's an energy I haven't felt in a while, and I think part of that is because we have been bounced, in the last 2 years.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is SiriusXM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. SiriusXM NBA Radio, SiriusXM 86.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 7 p.m., Washington Capitals take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Capitals on SiriusXM channels 91, Internet 950, Hurricanes on Internet 924. 9:30 p.m., Winnipeg Jets face the Dallas Stars. Jets on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 951. Stars on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 928. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 7 p.m., Washington Capitals take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Capitals on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 950, Hurricanes on Internet 924. 9:30 p.m., Winnipeg Jets face the Dallas Stars. Jets on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 951. Stars on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 928. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 7 p.m., Washington Capitals take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Capitals on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 950, Hurricanes on Internet 924. 9:30 p.m., Winnipeg Jets face the Dallas Stars. Jets on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 951. Stars on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 928. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates.
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 brings you expert analysis from former players, coaches, and executives, plus reaction to all the latest news on the only 24/7 station dedicated to the National Football League.
Iron Mike Keenan, former NHL head coach, came on the morning skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick for SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. That's SiriusXM Channel 91. He was on to promote his new book, Iron Mike, My Life Behind the Bench, and he took some time to talk about his career, specifically the regrets and the influences.
When you get a chance to sit down now and you think back on all these times, any regrets?
Yeah, of course you have regrets. I had the heat turned up quite a bit at my own distraction. So I could have, and I evolved, and even Greg, you just mentioned Greg Gilbert. He said, Mike, you're completely different here in New York than you were in Chicago. So you learn from your own mistakes. And for some reason, I was so driven. I took it personally if we lost, personally. And I was miserable. And I could have probably managed the principles of my coaching career and what I thought was important, that I would always stay intact with those. But the methodology could have been turned down a bit and probably a little bit smoother.
A little too intense?
At times, for sure. For sure.
Now, big names, Scotty Bowman, Roger Nielsen, Tom Watt. I mean, I don't know, mentors, friends. How did they all influence Mike Keenan?
Well, first of all, I played for Tom at University of Toronto, and then we developed a close relationship, and I would talk to him a lot about coaching. Now I'm in Peterborough. He'd come and see me, and we developed sort of a minor league team for him, because the guys that couldn't play for U of T right away, like Mike Polino, come out to play with me in Oshawa. And so we developed a relationship that way. But we talked a lot about hockey. He taught me more about hockey than anybody else. And then Roger and I had a relationship through Peterborough. We're getting now into the sort of the technical part of video replay and how that. And then I got Scotty Bowman, the greatest ever. He hires me for the first time, probably saw a little bit of himself in me, and he's calling me in the middle of the night after every game. He drives home from Rochester, and at 2 or 3 in the morning, and I'm not exaggerating, sometimes an hour conversation in the middle of the night. Why did you put Bob Mongrain on the penalty killing at that time? Like, okay, Scotty. But he was just, and he would test me all the time, and I just give him a firm belief in what I thought was right, and he respected that. So it was interesting and then we became friends over the years. It was a real 3 guys that really influenced my career.
That was Iron Mike Keenan, former NHL head coach and author of Iron Mike, My Life Behind the Bench. He was in conversation with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick for the Morning Skate on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. That's SiriusXM Channel 91.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 7 p.m., Washington Capitals take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Capitals on SiriusXM channels 91, Internet 950, Hurricanes on Internet 924. 9:30 p.m., Winnipeg Jets face the Dallas Stars. Jets on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 951. Stars on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 928. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 7 p.m., Washington Capitals take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Capitals on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 950, Hurricanes on Internet 924. 9:30 p.m., Winnipeg Jets face the Dallas Stars. Jets on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 951. Stars on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 928. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 7 p.m., Washington Capitals take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Capitals on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 950, Hurricanes on Internet 924. 9:30 p.m., Winnipeg Jets face the Dallas Stars. Jets on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 951. Stars on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 928. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates.
Hear it all on demand. Your favorite shows, your favorite games. Don't miss a second of your favorite SiriusXM programming on demand with the SiriusXM app. Download it now for free.
Former NHL head coach Iron Mike Keenan came on the morning skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick for SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, and he was asked about the long Alexei Kovalev shift during his time in New York, and he shared his side of the story about the skilled offensive talent that was Kovalev.
The Alexei Kovalev shift. I've heard 7 minutes. I've heard 9 minutes. Hey, you stay out there. You kind of figure it out. Describe to us what went into that. How long was a shift? Certainly, Kovalev was a talent, that's for sure, but he was a bit of an enigma.
Super talent,
yes,
and talented people sometimes are elusive. And Alex, I try to explain to him, you're getting 20 minutes. And I don't want the shifts to be 1 minute, so you have 20 shifts. I'm going to give you 40 shifts at 30 seconds so you can build the intensity up. Understand? Yeah, I understand, Mike. Goes out there. Of course, it's a minute and a half. I said, now, Alex, the guy that's supposed to be playing behind you just missed a shift because now we're going to the next rotation. You're out there for 2 rotations. Okay, Michael. So, again, next thing, does it again. So I said, oh, my God. So I said, okay, guys, this time when he comes back to the bench, it's now going to overextend his shift. He's going to be a little tired. Don't open the doors. He comes over and I said, get out. He thinks I love him now. Get back out there, I said. So then he comes over again. And now I said, guys, he's going to want to climb into the bench because he's done. I said, when he comes over, puts his leg up, push him back out. And they pushed him, but now they are laughing on the bench. This is in New York City. Right during the game. Back there. So Alex figures it out. He scores a goal in the middle of this shift.
Wow.
He gives himself a rest. Stays out there. Finishes the period. So I think it's about 9 minutes. I walk off the bench. I said, Mess, explain it to him, will you, please? He said, I will. Don't worry. I'll look after it. So as a result, we fast forward now to the playoffs in Game 6, playing New Jersey. In the Jersey series, I double shifted him. When he had to come back, and he was electrifying. Mess got the 3 goals, but Alex was a horse. And it's very talented, powerful. And the problem was he was so efficient that he could stay out, but he didn't grasp the concept of just picking up the intensity. You could see him. He could dangle and hang onto the puck, and nobody could take it from him. He was resting while he was out there. So
in essence, it was a bit of a training ground for what was to come against the Devils at the most important time.
Exactly.
Wow.
So it turned out to be a good lesson for him because that's what he did in that game. 30 seconds, 40 seconds. I just said, Alex, I'm going to double shift you. Get ready. Don't be out too long.
That was former NHL head coach Iron Mike Keenan in conversation with Gord Stellick and Scott Laughlin for the Morning Skate on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. That's SiriusXM Channel 91.
The PGA Tour comes to life on SiriusXM. It's your destination for everything on the tour. Hear live hole-by-hole coverage and expert analysis. PGA Tour Radio, SiriusXM 92.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 7 p.m., Washington Capitals take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Capitals on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 950, Hurricanes on Internet 924. 9:30 p.m., Winnipeg Jets face the Dallas Stars. Jets on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 951. Stars on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 928. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 7 p.m., Washington Capitals take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Capitals on SiriusXM channels 91, Internet 950, Hurricanes on Internet 924. 9:30 p.m., Winnipeg Jets face the Dallas Stars. Jets on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 951. Stars on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 928. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 7 p.m., Washington Capitals take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Capitals on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 950, Hurricanes on Internet 924. 9:30 p.m., Winnipeg Jets face the Dallas Stars. Jets on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 951. Stars on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 928. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates.
SiriusXM has soccer covered end to end. SiriusXM FC. Hear live play-by-play and talk shows hosted by legends of the game. It's SiriusXM FC on Channel 157.
Former Buffalo Sabres head coach Don Granato was on the morning skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick for SiriusXM NHL Network Radio Channel 91 to talk about how different today's athletes are, as well as what it's been like to watch Austin Matthews grow.
It's really a switch in the last 10 years. The first birth year I had at the national team program was 95 birth year. So it was JT Compher, Tyler Mott, that group. You have them for 2 years, so the next birth year coming in was the 97s, which was prolific. It was Austin Matthews and Matthew Tkachuk and McAvoy and Hanifin, Werenski. And I remember talking to the coaches back then that this birth year is way different than the 95 birth year. And this summer, ironically, I picked up a book that titled The Anxious Generation. And I thought it was very well documented, and the author used the iPhone. And the iPhone came out in 2008 or 6, somewhere in that range. But social media didn't hit hard on the iPhone where you could rate a kid's looks if you're a high school student. And so judging other people on a social media app on the iPhone was about 2013. And so now you think about all these kids going to high school, and we never had this. They could be made fun of on social media. They don't even know it, and they're walking out of a classroom and people are laughing. Yeah. So it's a different world we all live in because we're all criticized and compared to more and faster. And with that, you need to balance that with support. And I think, lots of coaches that have gone, that I watched around the league in the NHL, there's a lot of great coaches and a lot of good young coaches that are really good at that. The X's and O's, I say to people, are easy now. When the X's and O's are a very simple part of hockey. It's connecting with people and getting people motivated and excited. And that's changed dramatically. X's and O's became big when video hit the computer. You could watch 100 or 1,000 forechecks over and over and over and say, okay, these are the key components on a forecheck. And so, you didn't have to be in the NHL to become better at that. So that's the easy part. I just can't imagine doing this or that I did it. I called Brian Matthews one time in Austin's U17 year. And I said, Brian, do you have any idea how good your son is? And his reply was, no. Like, what are you talking about? Why are you, what is this conversation? And I had to explain to him, and I said, I think this is what's going to happen to Austin. I said, you honestly have to prepare for your life to become very chaotic and crazy. And lo and behold, he gets drafted in Toronto instead of some different market. And we know how crazy it can be here.
Oh yeah.
But and then the last thing I'll say on it is I remember leading up to the draft, lots of people said, can he handle Toronto? And I thought, absolutely, no problem. And the biggest thing for me is when a young player comes in the league, and we talked about earlier, if they're a -2 or 3 and they have a really tough night, you get to know how they're going to respond. And some that breaks their confidence, and maybe they need a stint in the AHL. You got to get them out of the pressure. But Austin was so good that if that happened, and when it's happened in his career, it doesn't hurt his confidence. He knows that he's in that category of player that I know I can redeem myself just get me to the next game now. and the best players can do that. And that's a different echelon of player at the NHL level that can do that. So if you look at the top players in the NHL, their confidence is not going to break. The guys right under that, they have a bad night. They may not want that next game.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
I'm Frank Track.
9, The Fan.
Carolina Hurricanes hockey is presented by Lenovo and is brought to you by Pepsi, Kinetico, Spectrum, UNC Health, Vector Security, North Carolina Education Lottery, Harris Teeter, Kia, and Cardinal Apparel. You're listening to the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
It's day 10 of the Eastern Conference semifinals, and the Carolina Hurricanes have an opportunity to make it the last day of the Eastern Conference semifinals. A win tonight in Washington, D.C., they punch their ticket to the NHL's version of the Final Four. Hi, everyone. I am Adam Gold, and tonight the Canes find themselves one win away from a matchup with either the reigning Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, or should they find another gear and rally, the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are on the brink of elimination again after a 6-1 beating on home ice last night. But it's important we don't get ahead of ourselves, because the Hurricanes have not yet won this series, and the cliche is not without truth that the hardest game to win in any series is the last one, and it's made more challenging when that game is on the road. And it's going to be made more challenging because Jalen Chatfield will not play tonight. We are going to see the NHL debut of prized rookie Alexander Nikishin tonight. I don't know how Carolina is going to work it. My guess is he plays some with Dmitry Orlov, and then we'll see. Historically speaking, Rod Brindamore's version of the Canes has been very good when presented with the opportunity to close out a series. 9-5 overall under Brindamore. They sent the Devils home with their first crack at it in Game 5 in Raleigh. On the road, not bad. Carolina's 3-3 in these situations, and that, of course, includes the very start of this run, winning Game 7 in Washington in double overtime in 2019. In addition to that, it's a good feeling to know that one of, if not your best player, Sebastian Aho, has a great track record in these games. This will be the 15th closeout game in Aho's career. He's got 10 goals and 15 points to his credit, and that, of course, includes his series-ending 2 power play goal performance against the Devils. We'll be back with lineups and more after these words from your local stations on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Guys, Marcy Bailey here from Bailey's Fine Jewelry with some diamond advice. Buying an engagement ring doesn't have to be so complicated. We've been doing this since 1948, and we know what women want. A combination of size and quality. And a little hint here, size wins big. We guarantee you can be in and out in under an hour, and she'll love the ring or your money back. It's that easy. Come see why we're voted the best place to buy a diamond. And remember, every woman wants a Bailey box.
Are you ready for the ultimate entertainment experience? It's all here, only with Spectrum TV Select. Popular apps are included: Disney Plus, Max, Peacock Premium, Paramount Plus, AMC Plus, and more. And live TV for sports, entertainment, and news. Enjoy across your devices no matter when or where you are. Get Spectrum TV Select and start streaming your favorites today. It's all here. Visit spectrum.com/entertainment. Restrictions apply.
Special teams numbers as we get you ready for Game 5 tonight between the Hurricanes and the Washington Capitals. Carolina's 9 for 30 in the playoffs, 3 out of 11 in this series on the power play. Washington 5 for 25 overall, but just 2 for 12 against Carolina's penalty kill, which is 25 for 27 in the playoffs. One of those goals happened in Game 4, Alex Ovechkin's 5-on-3 goal in the third period of the game. So Carolina's penalty kill, well over 90%, is best in the playoffs so far. One more game tonight. Mikko Rantanen and the Dallas Stars are in Winnipeg looking to do exactly what the Canes are hoping to do, move on in 5 games. Edmonton dusted Vegas in 5 games last night. The Golden Knights scoring 0 goals in the last 127 minutes of action. 0. Yes, Kasperi Kapanen scored the game winner in overtime last night. Yes, that's him, the Sammy Kapanen's kid, sending the Vegas Golden Knights home in overtime. Last night also the Panthers won their 3rd straight over the Leafs, 6-1 to take a 3-2 series lead back to South Florida for Game 6 tomorrow night. Check out these goal scorers for Florida: Aaron Ekblad, Dmitry Kulikov, Jesper Boqvist, Mikko Mikkola, AJ Greer, and finally Sam Bennett, somebody who actually scores goals. Toronto absolutely roasted by Florida last night. Injuries and scratches now brought to you by UNC Health, official healthcare provider of the Carolina Hurricanes. And check it out. Jalen Chatfield, undisclosed injury, will not play, and that means, yeah, you guessed it, we'll get to it. Forwards Mark Jankowski and Tyson Jost, as well as defenseman Scott Morrow, are among the long list of healthy extras. Sebastian Aho, Seth Jarvis, and Andrei Svechnikov will go out first. He leads Carolina with 7 playoff goals. Jordan Stahl, Jordan Martinook, and Will Carrier. See what the head coach does as the game goes on. You don't want this line to be wasted checking Nick Dowd's line. Jack Roslovic with Taylor Hall and Logan Stankoven. Jesperi Kotkaniemi in between Eric Robinson and Jackson Blake. On the back end, Jacob Slavin and Brent Burns, Shane Gostisbehere and Sean Walker. And how about it? Dmitry Orlov and Alexander Nikishin, for about 3 years, the best defenseman in the KHL, arguably the 2nd best hockey league in the world. We will see what Alexander Nikishin's got. We will see how much he plays and how much he does play with Dmitry Orlov. Rod Brindamore putting him in because Jalen Chatfield can't go. That's a big loss for Carolina. Everybody's excited to see Nikishin play and see what he can do, but it comes at the expense of one of Carolina's best defensemen in Jalen Chatfield. Not a trade the head coach really wanted to make, but he didn't really have a choice, right? Frederik Andersen in net, 6-2, 141 goals against average, and a .935 save percentage. Sebastian Aho, Seth Jarvis, Andrei Svechnikov. If Carolina wins this game tonight, I'll bet you those guys are on the score sheet. They haven't gotten a ton of production out of Aho and Jarvis in this series. They're going to need it tonight. Mike Maniscalco and Trip Tracy will have the call. Canes, Caps, Game 5, after these words from your local stations on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Hear that? That's the sound of digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With instant wins, progressive jackpots, and bonus games right from your phone. It's non-stop chances to win like you've never seen or heard before. Oh, yeah! Big money! Visit nclottery.com to get in on the action. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instants for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Make your next tailgate more electric when you plug into a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Not only do they light up the scoreboard with outstanding payload and towing numbers, with available Pro Power on board, you can turn these Ford trucks into mobile generators to give your tailgate party an extra boost of energy. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com for great offers and to learn more about F-150 and Super Duty. The owner's manual for important operating instructions.
Welcome spring with a ride on the Go Cary Downtown Loop. Skip looking for parking and enjoy fare-free, convenient trips to all your favorite downtown spots, like downtown Cary Park, the Cary Regional Library, and the Cary Theater. The Loop runs Thursday through Sunday every 25 minutes. Driving? Park at the Town Hall parking deck and hop on the Downtown Loop. With the free GoCarry app, you can plan your trip and track your bus in real time. Visit gocarry.org to learn more. Your downtown adventure awaits.
From Carolina winters to our very sunny summers, as America's exterior remodeler, Window World is here to keep families across the Triangle comfortable year-round. If you need new windows, siding, doors, and more, look no further than your locally owned Window World, the Triangle's most trusted and America's largest exterior remodeler. A proud sponsor of the Canes, Window World will get your home looking great on the outside while saving on energy costs inside. Get in touch with them today and request a free quote. Window World of Raleigh and Fayetteville. Improving homes, changing lives.
It's game day for your Canes. Presented by John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to game number 5 of the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. In this matchup, the Carolina Hurricanes have a chance to close out the Washington Capitals alongside Chip Tracy. I'm Mike Maniscalco. Thank you for joining us here on the Hurricanes Radio Network. Chip, before they drop the puck, what's the last thought going through your mind what the Canes need to do to make sure we're not playing hockey on Saturday?
Carolina's 2 best starts of the series by a decided margin have been the 2 starts here in games 1 and 2. So can they relocate being the team that gets in front of it with their play early? Even though they scored the first goal in both games at home, you'd love to have the starts that they had in games 1 and 2 here, Mike.
Well, we're getting ready to start. Our officials, Francis Charon and Gord Dwyer. And we dropped the puck, but we'll have to do it again. A little early start there as Sebastian Aho, Seth Jarvis, and the man who is tied for second in playoff goal scoring, Andrei Svechnikov, starting up front for Carolina. On the blue line, Brent Burns, Jacob Slavin, and as you've already heard, Alexander Nikishin will be making his NHL debut here tonight for Carolina in place of Jalen Chatfield. Here we go. Washington wins the draw. It'll be sent into the Cane zone, chased after it by Alexei Protas. It'll be sent out of the zone. Carolina with it now. Svechnikov, top of the right circle. His pass, tried to get it to Aho. Interrupted, sent behind the net. Wilson will get to it. It'll be one-touched, and Dubois. He'll give it away. Burns. And bounce it off of the boards out to Aho into the Washington zone. He'll flip this one across, looking to set that one up. And back behind the net it goes. Carrier with a little shot that had to be saved. Walker with another drive. That is deflected just wide of Thompson's net. Carrier to the puck. He'll play it back for Gostisbehere. His little chip pass, though, goes off the heel of his blade and out of the zone. Carolina needs to tag up. They will.
Burns made a hard play at the end of his shift. Carolina was making a change. Carrier couldn't settle the puck as the Hurricanes moving left to right, but a good opportunity.
As Washington works this into the Cane zone, a chance here was put forward by Taylor Radish as Alexander Nikishin on the ice along with Dmitry Orlov is pairing here tonight. And that'll be worked back into the Washington zone. Going back to get it. And trying to make a play is Alex Alexiev.
I feel like they're going to ease Nikishin into it. Might lean heavily on the 5 other defensemen.
Now here's a chance for Beauvillier, and that's blocked before he can get it through. He had gotten a step, and 2 Canes got in front of him to knock that one away. Now Burns shadowing his man, sent across. Alexiev, his long drive. That bounces off of Taylor Hall into the corner. Van Riemsdyk will play it all the way up from his defensive position. Back for Alexiev, he can't keep. And the puck finds its way back in the Washington zone.
Mike, the first early chance for Washington. You had an excellent play from Slavin, but support from Jack Roslovic. Aside from his production offensively, Roslovic is playing his best hockey and most reliable hockey of the playoffs defensively right now.
Now a chance here for Washington to break out of their zone. Alexiev, though, behind the net. And now it's a chance here for Washington to break their way in. And Nikishin is on the ice here with Gostisbehere. He takes a bump from Mangiapane, and Mangiapane got the worst of it, but Nikishin gives it away. Kept in front. Mangiapane can't handle it. Off the shot from just inside the blue line. And Carolina can clear. Now it's worked forward. McMichael tries a little self-pass. He'll lose the handle. And Nikishin fires this one up the boards. Robinson trying to play it in deep. Worked along the Washington blue line. Gostisbehere will fish this one out and flip it into the corner.
Nikishin's got a shift under his belt. I think it's good for him to get physical. He had a turnover, but then had a nice play in transition, a real hard pass at the end of his first shift.
Now bouncing puck sent into the Washington zone, but that'll be taken away by Protas. Here's Protas with 33 goals in the regular season, trying to storm his way into the Kane zone. Anderson helps move it around the boards. Stahl wants to get to it. A shot from a sharp angle doesn't get through three bodies, and Stahl banks it off the boards, and Carolina clears. And across center ice, it'll be chipped in by Martinook, and he'll turn and head to the bench.
Orlov.
Quick changes for Canes in this one.
Orlov blocked a shot. He's in some pain, but the puck was loose in the crease or just outside of it. He kicked it to the corner. Used his skate nicely, but he's in some pain after that block on the bench.
Now Roslovic with it. He plays this up for Hall. Off of Hall's skate, but he's going to go give Chychrun a shove, and that'll be a turnover as Chychrun moved it quick. Roslovic got to it, but then it'll be sent all the way around the boards. Nikishin couldn't get to it. It's a skate race. He's going to have to win it, and Beauvillier finishes Nikishin into the corner. And now Carolina looks to clear. Can't do it, as Hall got a stick to it, and is sent back by Strome, but Gostisbehere has it off of his stick. Ovechkin almost with a turnover. Nice defensive recovery by Gostisbehere, and Carolina in the offensive zone. Aho tries to drop that one, but it's deflected away from Stankoven. Now Beauvillier, little backhand flip over the head of Burns. Anderson does a good job to help his defenseman to stop it there. Now Slavin up the boards. This will be shuttled into the corner. Giving a hit, there's Jarvis, but he's on the worst end of it. Charging in after it, though, Svechnikov. Loose puck out in front. Trying to locate Aho, but it's Washington breaking the other way. There's a chance as Duhaime fires that one through the blue paint. Kept in by Carlson. His shot is blocked out in front, and Carolina clears. Bouncing puck finds Aho.
Guess who with the block? Jacob Slavin. So a couple, for me, consequential blocks. Neither team has registered a shot, but Orlov and now Slavin so far.
Slavin has 15 blocks in the postseason, and now a turnover at center ice. Blake comes up with it. He'll drop it back, trying to center it out in front, and Thompson with a monstrous save early in this one. As Blake makes a great play to get it out to Kotkaniemi, who just couldn't finish. Now McMichael. Connor McMichael's moved over to center for this game. Ryan Leonard is taken down, and that's going to be a penalty against Carolina with 14:30 remaining here in the first period.
Announcement coming from Gord Dwyer.
Carolina penalty, number 7, 2 minutes, okay.
The Hurricanes had caused a neutral zone turnover, leading to their best chance of this young hockey game. I'm not sure. The glance was Orlov's stick came up on Leonard, but then Leonard went down. It was on the bench side, about 15 feet inside the Carolina blue line. Looked like Leonard went down on his own, to me. And, you know, when you look at the disparity in penalties in Game 4 in particular, the power play opportunities, I'm just calling a spade, have shifted significantly towards the Washington Capitals. Let's see if we can go about killing this off with a penalty killer and Orlov in the box.
Canes penalty killers this postseason have only allowed 2 goals. They'll win the draw, and Thompson's got to come all the way out of his net to play it as Martinook was charging in. Canes 25 of 27 in this postseason, 10 of 12 in this series. That means the Caps are 2 of 12 in the series, and they are 5 for 25, 20% overall in their 9 games played. As Stahl works this one free along the boards in a very wise play, as Slavin just nudges this one all the way down the ice.
He doesn't lack wisdom.
No, he does not. As 40 seconds have gone by in this penalty kill for Carolina. Trying to play it through, and it gets around Ovechkin, and Ovechkin does nothing. Here comes Jarvis. Jarvis, a backhand pass, looking for Aho. Aho will track it down. Settle, shot. That's blocked out in front, and Chychrun's hurt. Chychrun took the puck right in the chest. Canes keeping it on. Aho tees it up. That's blocked by Ovechkin. Walker's going to get to it, and now it's going to be turned out by Carolina, and they can just play a little ragtime with it, rolling it around the boards. Chychrun took that one right in the chest.
Yeah, he's hunched over on the Washington bench. Aho is trying to go over the shoulder from a sharp angle where Carolina's had success on Thompson.
Now Anderson trying to clear. He gets it to Stahl. Stahl, though, can't get it out. Well, it's kept in at the point. Work down low into the corner. Sent out in front. And that's waved as crashing to the front was Protas. Now a chance here for Leonard. That's deflected.
Slavin.
He got the stick to that one. Now Slavin comes out to pressure. Ovechkin will take the puck. He'll send it across. The shot, and that goes off the arm of Anderson as he gets across. The attempt there by McMichael, and Carolina clears with 9 seconds left on the kill.
Anderson's movement there, left to right, has been as good as I've seen it as a Hurricane. He liked that save. That's the first time he's touched the puck, and he pounded his chest right after. You know, and you rarely see that type of reaction from Anderson. What a testy first save.
Well, out of the box comes Orlov. Canes penalty killers do the job, but Washington now back into the Canes zone. 12:15 left here in the period. Sandin with a drive top of the left circle. That misses everything. Second chance kept in at the right point. That's deflected wide, and Carolina can get a stick to it, and then Hall's given a hard shove from behind by Roy, and this will be icing on Carolina.
You got to wave that off. Roy came up in the neutral zone to get physical on Hall and didn't make an attempt to play the puck. You can't call icing in that situation. Boy, you look back to that save from Frederik Andersen, and this is a key draw for Roslovic and company, but in my view, you cannot call icing in that situation because Roy makes a concerted effort and decision not to play the puck but step up on Hall, prevent him from any opportunity to nullify the icing.
12 minutes, 2 seconds remaining here in the opening period. Still looking for a goal. Story early, the Canes penalty killers, and now we're going to get the puck touched with a hand, so hand pass in the neutral zone, and we've got our first break. 11:55 remaining in the first period. We're looking for a goal here at Capital One Arena. Canes and Capitals, game number 5. Canes can close out the series here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
For almost a decade, the Hurricanes have trusted their t-shirt needs with Cardinal Apparel. Carolina Hurricanes alumni Shane Willis here to tell you Cardinal Apparel has expanded and relocated to better serve their clients across the state. Formerly known as Raleigh Screen Print, Cardinal Apparel will produce high-quality screen printing while working directly with customers. Don't waste your time online trying to order through third-party vendors. Save money and time working with Cardinal Apparel. Visit cardinalapparel.com to start your order today.
Barbecue season is back. Hey, it's Ellen. And this is Sarah Beth. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese. I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and a Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Who wants to save up to $1 a gallon on gas with Harris Teeter fuel points? It's easy. Shop at Harris Teeter with your Vic card. Earn 1 fuel point for every $1 spent. Redeem your points for gas savings at Harris Teeter fuel centers in our partnering Amoco and BP gas stations. You can even check your fuel points in the Harris Teeter app. Get 4 times the fuel points when you shop on Fridays. Harris Teeter, in food with love.
Back inside Capital One Arena with Trick Tracy, Mike Maniscalco here on your Canes Radio Network, and our technical tandem. Pat Malley here in the booth with us in Washington, D.C., and Rusty Helzer back in Raleigh. All right, Tripp, 8 minutes, 5 seconds have gone by in this first period, still looking for a goal.
Well, Carolina had their best chance right before the Orlov penalty, and another exquisite kill from Carolina. They gave up one quality chance, and that's where Anderson, even though he's faced just one shot, the shots are 1-1, but he should feel smack dab into the middle of this hockey game, and let's see if Carolina can reestablish what they were starting to build before that kill, and it was a biggie.
As Jack Roslovic wins this draw all the way back row, and Anderson has to play it. Orlov will swing it around, but not out. Sandin jumps in. He's given a shoulder, and Beauvillier plays it deeper into the corner. Reaching for it is Ovechkin. Ovechkin back to the point for Karlsson. That's knocked away from Karlsson. Can Carolina clear? Yes, they can. Nice play made to knock this one forward up for Hall.
Walker's level right now is stellar. The guy that needs another level, and it's game-changing if he finds it, is Orlov. He's struggling a bit here early on.
They're playing together right now as this one goes off the boards, and Walker gets it, wants to clear. A diagonal pass, low to high, up for Alexiev, and he's going to go down the left wing boards. A shot put forward by Strome, but that's chopped over the net. Van Riemsdyk inside the blue line. He tees it up through traffic. Anderson makes the save. Ovechkin to the rebound. Back for Van Riemsdyk. Second shot. Save made by Anderson. Saw it the whole way. Now along the boards, Hall will get to it. He'll chip after it. It will not make it for icing, so Carolina can clear.
Some shots through traffic. Roslovic had lost as he was indecisive as that shot went to the Washington point at the offensive blue line. Should I be a center? Should I be a winger? And that created the opportunity, but Anderson calm and cool through traffic here early.
As Burns will have it. Canes moving left to right on your radio dial. iPad, iPod, or whatever device you're consuming this game on. As Stahl gets a chance, and he scores! There's a huge goal for the captain! As he consumes his first in the series, and the Canes have a 1-0 lead.
You and I talked to him in the lobby this morning, and he promised you one. And what I love the very most is Carolina has recognized there's a flaw in Logan Thompson. And it is over the shoulder from sharp angles. I mentioned Aho's chance shorthanded. That's what Jordan Stahl did. Perfectly placed shot, but as deep as he plays, over those shoulders are readily available. And the Hurricanes, I thought, started that tendency of trying to go after it in Game 2. And what an all-important first goal. A beauty from the captain.
It is his first of the postseason. And for Jordan Stahl, what a huge goal. He's used to scoring them in this building.
What a shot. And over the course, I thought, remember Jacob Markstrom in the first round for a big guy, that low handle on his stick, that told you why the upper half of the net was available. Thompson, without question, sharp angles over those shoulders. Look at the number of goals that have been scored.
And now a chance out in front as Carolina worked it back through, and Thompson makes the save, but Washington able to maneuver this one back into the Cane zone.
Nikishin's first shot in the NHL.
He tested Logan Thompson there. Now he does a good job sealing off his man, allowing Jarvis to clear it out. That puck was touched with a high stick. Chicklin will play it, though, and that will wave that off. And now we're going to get a hand pass as the puck comes out of the Canes defensive zone into the neutral zone, and that'll stop play with 9:44 left here in the first period. The captain's 37th career postseason goal, Jordan Stahl, has put Carolina up 1-0 here with 9:44 left in the first period. You're listening to Canes Playoff Hockey on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
We all love cheering on the Hurricanes, and our Triangle neighbor Lenovo is giving us something else to cheer about. The global technology giant is going all in to enhance the fan experience at the Lenovo Center and support the transformative entertainment district, making it a one-stop shop for all things fun in the Triangle. Hockey, entertainment, food, and more. Check it out at the newly named Lenovo Center and Entertainment District, where celebration starts in the Triangle. See you there.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Ugh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
9:44 left here in the opening period in game number 5 of this second-round matchup here at Capital One Arena. And Jordan Stahl has put Carolina out in front 1-0 in this one.
He had that look. For those that follow social media, he was walking right near us when you filmed that episode of me getting on that lucky huge Caniac bull. And then we saw him in the lobby right after, and he promised you one. What a gem of a shot that was, and that's an area, like I said, on Thompson, the Hurricanes have exploited.
As he told me, I'm trying. Well, he did.
Well, he had that look of a mature captain today and his demeanor. Knowing you may be up 3-1 in the series, and it's early in this hockey game. The first goal gives you a big boost, and again, complement that penalty kill that the Hurricanes had at 0-0. But this is a group that has had all sorts of experiences, and they recognize they may be up 3-1, but that doesn't mean you've got a cushion.
No. And file this for what it's worth, Tripp, but this postseason, when scoring first, the Hurricanes are 4-0. As play resumes in Carolina, trying to work a forecheck in the Washington zone. They will. Orlov rockets one and just misses to the right of Thompson's net. Another 2 inches to the left, and that might have gone through Thompson. Now Carolina working that forecheck again into the corner. Robinson delivers a hit on Sandin. Has Eric Robinson ever been good this postseason for Carolina? Now Mangiapane will work his way around Walker. Wrap it around the boards. Wilson taken down. And this one will be reversed all the way back for Alexiev. Robinson has a shoulder for him. Wilson to the point. That'll be knocked away by Blake. And Blake tries to play it behind Van Riemsdyk, but good hustle there by the former Hurricane, Trevor Van Riemsdyk. As he is watched by Carrier. Now Alexiev. No gain center ice. Wrapped it around the left wing board. Slavin, though, to it. Up the boards. That allows Carrier to deliver a hit. And the Canes can scoop this one out. As it'll be pitched into the corner. Martinick goes to get it from Slavin. Around for Stahl, the goal scorer. Stahl using that big body to play it back to the corner for Martinick. It'll work its way and be kept in. Nice play here. Long drive. That'll be blocked up high by Van Riemsdyk, who was cycling out in front.
Got blocked, but Carrier, good fill for a pinching defenseman at the end of his shift. That's the type of cohesive harmony from the forwards and defense we've seen.
Duhaime paws down a pass from Dubois. But Carolina won't get to a bouncing puck in their zone and try to clear. Can't. Kept in, but Aho with a great read as he comes all the way back on Dowd. And the Canes work this one back into the Washington zone. Top of the right circle, sent down low for Svechnikov. Andrei Svechnikov. He'll finish his man along the boards, but Washington can clear. And bouncing puck center ice right through the Caps logo. It'll be chipped deep into the Canes zone by Dowd. Chychrun pinches in from his defensive position. Top of the left circle, but Carolina can clear. Aho, though, is a man without a country as Roy has the puck. He'll drop this one back. And Ovechkin get it right back.
I'll tell you what, though, his country has been very well represented in the Stanley Cup playoffs so far.
Yes,
when you look at some of the best individual efforts.
Yes, they have.
Granlund just had a hat trick. Sebastian has 10 points to lead the Hurricanes.
And he is outstanding in closeout series. There's a long drive from the point. Kicked away. Carolina will keep it in. Roslovic with a drive. That'll go just to the left. Hall to the rebound. Behind the net for Stankoven. Logan Stankoven is knocked off the puck. Now a bouncing puck. That went off of Carlson. Beauvillier was there to fill, but Washington gives it away in the middle of the rink. It'll be played back for Roslovic. He plays it into the corner. And Washington can get this one free. Pass too far for Beauvillier. Slavin, man, he is everywhere. Plays it off his own backboard. Out in front to score. Anthony Beauvillier will take advantage of an odd bounce. And the Caps have tied it at 1.
It was an attempted D-to-D pass off the end boards behind Freddie Anderson. But the pass wasn't executed. Came off the end boards, and Anderson tried to deal with it with the shaft of his stick. It hit the side of the net. If it hadn't hit the side of the net, Anderson would have been able to deal with it cleaner. He didn't know it was going to come off the net like he did. It was Slavin's attempted D-to-D pass that missed the mark, and Beauvillier goes right to the front of the net. Anderson isn't able to seal it, coming across the goal line with his shaft, and then he's exposed low, and Beauvillier cashes.
Now Washington has tied it at 1. Villiers second of the playoffs, first of the series. As play resumes, Carolina gets this puck in deep into the Washington zone. Robinson fighting for it. And he played out by Blake. Watched by Van Riemsdyk. Kicked into the middle and then banked off the boards and hustling all the way back to get it to Nikishin. His angle pass finds Kotkaniemi. And we'll put this one here on the tape of Robinson. His shot will be deflected and airmailed over the glass into the netting. 5:40 left here at Capital One Arena. Washington has just leveled this game at 1 goal apiece. You're listening to Carolina Hurricanes playoff hockey on the Canes Radio Network.
Hey everyone, Adney and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch this movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit, and the cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
To us, every moment matters. Moments of quiet perseverance and loud celebrations. Starting moments and the moments that make us feel unstoppable. We're here to help you be present for them all. UNC Health is dedicated to getting you back to what you love. Faster, stronger, and healthier. Official healthcare provider of the Carolina Hurricanes.
5:40 remaining here in the first period. Hurricanes and Capitals tied at 1 here in game number 5 of this second round series.
You know, one piggybacking thing to think about with that tying goal, it's a tough break for Anderson that it's on the side that his blocker is right on the post, and more specifically his stick, because your stick can get entangled when it goes off the side of the net below the goal line. If it's on his glove side, would have been routine. He can just swipe it with the free hand on that stick. So that's a break for Washington. Beauvillier takes advantage. But if it's on the other side, that glove side post is just an easy motion with his stick to put that back below the goal line off the side of the net.
Now offensive zone draw won by Carolina. Back to Walker at the right point. He'll get it to Aho. He'll turn from distance, and that goes off Svechnikov and ricochets just wide. Pass too far for Chychrun. Svechnikov will play it back into his own zone for Walker. 5:20 remaining here in the first period. Long pass will work its way back into the Kane zone by Protas. Carolina, though, quickly to move it out. And it'll be deflected and we're staying in the zone. Wilson with it. As Protas used all 6'6" to play that one free. Now a chance for Roy. That goes wide, and Canes will bank this one off the boards and out. Wilson back in his zone, watched by Aho.
There's room for Carolina to sort things out defensively. There, Wilson made a heck of a pass to the offside defenseman, and it was available. You got a big shot block, but wingers in particular, there's Svechnikov. They got to sort out.
Icing here on Washington. How do they get it sorted out then?
You just don't get mesmerized by the puck, and in real time you have to have an ability to recognize who your guy is. And typically for that weak side defenseman, opposite side of the puck, it's the winger. Wilson makes a heck of a pass, but there have been a couple. Roslovic had one earlier, and in those points, those defensemen, they can be very dangerous. So wingers, or if it happens to be a centerman, they have to make sure to recognize immediately what your job responsibility is. Don't get puck focused.
Canes win the draw, right back to Burns. Burns to the middle of the ice. His shot is fired just wide of Thompson's net. Washington can clear. Burns back in his own zone. And he'll play it quickly up for Roslovic. Into the Washington zone, down the right wing boards. Jack Roslovic. He's coming off of a
huge performance. And now Burns with a long drive from the right point, but that's snagged and hung on to by Thompson.
Offensive zone draw. Let's see if Burns and Slavin stay on the ice, or Tim Gleason goes with Gostisbehere and Nikishin, and he's going to go with him because this is an offensive zone draw. I think one of the reasons that you're playing Nikishin with Gostisbehere is you're going to you don't have control on the road like you would at home, but you're going to see more of Washington's third and fourth lines. But after his first shift where he turned the puck over, did Nikishin?
Yeah.
I think he's looked more and more comfortable as this period has moved along.
He's out there with Stahl, Martinook, and Carrier up front. Carlson tries to clear the puck, can't do it. Going to be kept in by Stahl, the goal scorer for Carolina here in this first period. Behind the net for Carrier. Good played away from Sandin. He'll take a hit from Sandin. Now Carrier attracting two caps. He's jumping back into the play to try to help out his defensive partner is Carlson. Puck is lodged in the corner on the end boards. Carrier doing heavy lifting in that corner. Kane still trying to get it out. And it's underneath there somewhere. Carrier looks up, and now it'll come free for Martinook behind the net. Martinook able to get it to Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere will put it back down deep. Dowd has a hit for Martinook. The Carrier ended up with it again behind the net. Now a chance for Dowd to clear. Nikishin with a good play with a hand to keep it in. Still trying to keep it in. Now to be popped out.
Good keep from Nikishin. He gets off, and like I said, after that first shift, he's looked comfortable.
Showed some athletic ability on that one as he jumped up and knocked it down. And that forced Washington to not have a clean exit. As Carolina will keep this back in the Washington zone. Kotkaniemi will flip it behind the net. Alexiev. And that's worked around and flipped out to center ice for Beauvillier. He'll bounce this one. Worked across for Strome. Now back for Van Riemsdyk. He'll drop it. Alexiev shot blocked before it can find Anderson. 2 minutes, 50 seconds left here. As Washington lost the puck, it comes out of their zone, and Carolina is able to clear and change up. And now pressuring Van Riemsdyk. He tries to turn away from Blake. They'll go the other way. Robinson. He has been so physical in this series. Carolina taking advantage. Blake has it behind the net. Blake turns, tries to center. As he's to the left of Thompson. And Van Riemsdyk to a loose puck. And out it goes. Washington can clear just for the moment. Slavin bats it to the blue line. Washington has this one bounce off of Wilson. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left here in the first period. Now Protas. He'll try a long shot. Anderson will block her that one away. And the Canes chip it to Svechnikov. Middle of the ice. Slavin will play this one up for Jarvis. Jarvis trying to work his way around Chychrun. He's fended off nicely there. Aho. He wanted to play it, but it'll find Protas. Protas. He'll lug the mail to the Canes blue line. He'll drop it off. Now sent back for Chychrun. Chychrun shot hits the post.
Another situation. The weak side defenseman as Chychrun is trailing the play.
Now Jarvis gets one through. Thompson makes a save. Rebound was there. It pops out, but Dubois is able to sweep that one to safety.
You know, a critical situation here. Carolina so good late in periods in this playoff so far. But that's going to be the biggest adjustment of how do you deal with that weak side defenseman, whether it be on the rush like Chychrun, their post shot to the blocker side, or in the zone. Those have been Washington's best looks.
Now Roy fires this one out in between the blue lines. Carolina, though, intercepts. They were offside, though, providing a spy there on Roy. Here's a chance for Washington. McMichael with speed. Crosses the Canes blue line. He's given a shoulder there by Nikishin, but Washington able to keep the puck in just for the moment. Nice play by Stankoven. He gets it up for Stahl. Stahl. He winds his way in down the right wing boards. Stahl. He is put into the boards there by Sandin, but puck still moving. Stankoven trying to kick it back to the captain. Walker jumps in on the play. Stahl comes out to help. Hall gets a loose puck out in front. Rebound settled down and pushed just wide by Stankoven. Oh, he had a wide open net and just missed.
I thought that was in the back of the net. Oh, I don't know how he missed on the backhand. Two terrific looks. Lateral save from Thompson. Heck of a save on his feet, but then I thought the rebound was 2-1 Carolina.
15 seconds left here in the first. Walker with it at the right point. He'll play it off the end boards. He'll take a bounce all the way around for Orlov, who jumps in on the play. Wants to center it out in front. Backhand chance. Thompson gets a piece of it. Carrier crashes in, and the puck will be swept into the Cane zone, and that is how the first period will come to a close.
And a meeting of the minds here. Carrier, Stahl. Somebody else is in there. Boy, the chance from Hall, shooting against the grain. Oh my gosh, in desperation. The heel of Thompson's stick as he had exploded from left to right. He got a piece of Stankoven's backhand. He just had the heel of the stick on the ice. And that made the save. Carolina, I thought, got really heavy down low in the Washington zone late in the period. I think Carrier might have had his best period possibly of the postseason. Got to stick with that, but that's a huge save from Thompson on that rebound with the heel of that stick.
Well, 20 minutes in the books. We have our intermission report coming up. Canes and Caps are tied at 1. You're listening to Carolina Hurricanes playoff hockey on the Canes Radio Network.
What if, instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you could choose one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon, with big bank reliability and small bank resolve. You get 160 years of financial strength and stability and an enduring commitment to personal service. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank. Visit firsthorizon.com/getitall.
Hey, it's Adam Golden. I am in studio with my friend Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Quality you can afford. What do you mean by that?
Well, isn't that great? That's
It's great. I like that.
So
as a motto.
we have customers all the time that call us out for windows, and they don't think they can do all of them at once. And you don't have to. We have 18 months zero interest financing. We have all kinds of plans actually. So whatever your budget is, if you're putting off windows because you don't think you can do it now, call us out and let us at least price it for you and give you some options of how we can make it easier.
800-672-4348, aluminumcompany.com.
Enjoying the game? Hempy's can help. Hempy's is North Carolina's favorite hemp and CBD shop, and as long as you order before 9 p.m., local same-day delivery is absolutely free. Hempy's products are made with clean, natural ingredients, and each product is lab-tested to ensure quality and safety. Visit hempys.co to check out the inventory. And remember, orders placed before 9 p.m. get free same-day delivery. Or you can always stop by one of their 8 locations in North Carolina. Must be 21 or older to order. That's hempys.co.
Adam Gold inside our network studios on the Lenovo Intermission Report, brought to you by Lenovo, official technology provider of the Carolina Hurricanes. We are a goal apiece. What? A goal for each side in the first period. First time that has happened in this series. In fact, we only had a first period goal for the first time last game. That was the Shane Gostisbehere goal. Goals scored by Anthony Pavillier for Washington. He answers the Jordan Stahl goal for Carolina. That was the first goal of the game. And boy, Logan Stankoven came within a whisker of making it 2-1 Carolina in the dying seconds of the period. Actually, Washington very lucky it wasn't a goal, because Stankoven really whiffed on the backhand try in front of the net as Logan Thompson was well out of position. If it gets anything on the shot at all, it's a goal, but he basically whiffed on it. It just sort of drifted towards the goal line, and Logan Thompson keeps it out. But an entertaining period, albeit a low event period. Not a lot of shots on goal for either team. I guess Washington had a couple of shots late, making it. I'm sorry, Carolina had a couple of shots late. Carolina 8-4 edge in shots. We'll take a break. We'll come back with highlights 1-1 after 1. I am Adam Gold. We are in Game 5. Highlights are next.
For almost a decade, the Hurricanes have trusted their t-shirt needs with Cardinal Apparel. Carolina Hurricanes alumni Shane Willis here to tell you Cardinal Apparel has expanded and relocated to better serve their clients across the state. Formerly known as Raleigh Screen Print, Cardinal Apparel will produce high-quality screen printing while working directly with customers. Don't waste your time online trying to order through third-party vendors. Save money and time working with Cardinal Apparel. Visit cardinalapparel.com to start your order today.
Barbecue season is back.
Hey, it's Ellen. And this is Sarah Beth. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese. I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and our Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Who wants to save up to $1 a gallon on gas with Harris Teeter fuel points? It's easy. Shop at Harris Teeter with your Vic card. Earn 1 fuel point for every dollar spent. Redeem your points for gas savings at Harris Teeter fuel centers in our partnering Amoco and BP gas stations. You can even check your fuel points in the Harris Teeter app. Get 4 times the fuel points when you shop on Fridays. Harris Teeter, in food with love.
Highlights time here on the Lenovo Intermission Report, brought to you by Lenovo, official technology provider of the Carolina Hurricanes. It is 1-1. I am Adam Gold, and first period highlights are brought to you by Kia. We started off, Logan Thompson called into duty early. Jesperi Kotkaniemi with the try.
And now a turnover at center ice. Blake comes up with it. He'll drop it back, trying to center it out in front. And Thompson with a monstrous save early in this one. As Blake makes a great play to get it out to Kotkaniemi, who just couldn't finish.
Washington got the first power play. It was Dmitry Orlov for an almost hook, and that was good enough for the officials. And the Hurricanes had to kill it, thanks to Jacob Slavin and Freddie Anderson. They did.
Crashing to the front was Protas. Now a chance here for Leonard. That's deflected.
Slavin.
He got the stick.
So funny. Oh, my gosh. All right, so later on, after the penalty was killed, Carolina gets the puck out of their own end. The captain's line gets it going.
Stahl gets a chance, and he scores! There's a huge goal for the captain as he consumes his first in the series, and the Canes have a 1-0 lead.
It was a plus 575 anytime goal scorer. Right at the end of the period, maybe 5 seconds left, it's 1-1. Carolina buzzing around the Washington net.
Hall gets a loose puck out in front. Rebound settled down and pushed just wide by Stankoven. Oh, he had a wide open net and just missed.
I thought that was in the back of the net. Oh, I don't know how he missed on the backhand. 2 terrific looks. Lateral save from Thompson. Heck of a save on his feet, but then I thought the rebound was 2-1 Carolina.
Yeah, well, I mean, he missed because he kind of whiffed on the puck. That's really what happened. If the Hurricanes get a power play and they put the biscuit in the basket on the power play, you can get a free Bowberry biscuit at participating Bojangles tomorrow morning. Yeah, Bojangles. It's bow time. We'll talk to Walt Ruff next.
Canes fans, something big is happening this season. Our favorite hometown technology giant, Lenovo, is celebrating 20 years in the Triangle, and we're all getting in on the fun. Grab your jersey and meet us at the Lenovo Center, the new name of the home arena of the Carolina Hurricanes. The Lenovo Center is just a slap shot away from Lenovo's headquarters in the Triangle. Come celebrate and cheer on the Canes this season at the Lenovo Center.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
Adam Gold inside of our network studio is 1-1 between the Hurricanes and the Capitals after 20 minutes. Let's bring in Hurricanes.com content maestro, wizard of the keyboards, Walt Ruff, who is live at Capital One Arena. All right, sir, a good first period in your eyes, or what? What do you think?
I think so. Doubled Washington in shots, won 83% of faceoffs, got to their forecheck on a couple occasions, including on the game-opening goal. So all things considered, I think you take it for the Carolina Hurricanes.
No doubt, especially getting the first goal just kind of takes a little bit of the sting out. Of course, that was given back. Jacob Slavin under a little bit of pressure, doesn't get the puck far enough behind the net. It comes back out the front side. Second effort for Anthony Beauvillier for the goal. Let me ask you, though, about the kid. Number 21, Alexander Nikishin. Didn't play a ton. What'd you like?
Well, what's not to like? I mean, first and foremost, happy Alexander Nikishin Day to you. It's been over 1,000 days since he was picked in the draft by Carolina, and yet it feels like for most of those 1,000, we've talked about the anticipation of his debut, and we finally get it here tonight. So what a special moment. Obviously bummed for Jalen Chatfield on his birthday to be out of the lineup with his injury, but Nikishin looks as advertised. He's a smooth skater for being 6'4", 216 pounds. I think most of us got a good laugh on his first shift when Andrew Mangiapane tried to take him into the boards behind the net, and it's Mangiapane who winds up on his back. So I got some enjoyment out of that, I have to admit, and I look forward to seeing more of him.
Yeah, I do too. I thought Rod would play him with Dmitry Orlov. He's not doing that. He's playing him with Shane Gostisbehere and letting Nikishin play his offside. Now, I was told he didn't play his offside this year, but that in years past he has. We'll see how long that continues. We'll also see how long he plays. Washington has altered their lineup. Has it made them any different, you think?
I think it's probably just trying to generate more offense, like we've seen out of Rod Brind'Amour and the Carolina Hurricanes on several occasions, right? I mean, obviously their backs are against the wall. They need to be very desperate in the way they go about their gameplay tonight, and they're looking for anybody. I know that Anthony Beauvillier has been one of those guys, and it was a credit to him, a nice individual effort to get his night started.
All right, shorthanded. Carolina took the first penalty, and I use air quotes there. I'm not sure there was enough there for a penalty. Either way, Carolina killed it off. Aho and Jarvis nearly combining on a chance. But at 5-on-5, what more do you need to see from Aho, Jarvis, Svechnikov?
I think it's like we've talked about in previous segments this series. Just remember who you are and not be afraid to fire the puck, right? There was one example, at least, of Sebastian Aho trying to be too cute following his own entry. He got in the zone, was looking to kind of pull up and hit a guy streaking into the zone, and instead play goes the other way. So they need to be those play-driving forwards that get the puck to the net before they worry about making these highlight reel plays in the offensive zone.
Yeah, Aho, Jarvis, and Svechnikov right now have combined for 2 shots. That number needs to be, by the end of the night, probably 7 times that, I think, for the Hurricanes. Aho's been, that's what I think. Aho's been very good in closeout games. What was your take on the final sequence in front of the net where Logan Stankoven nearly made it 2-1?
Yeah, at first it looked like Logan Stankoven just pushed it wide, but upon the replay it looks like Logan Thompson just got the slightest bit of it with the heel of his stick. I could not believe it. I mean, of course, Logan Stankoven wanted to get more on that, but in a quick moment like that, you don't really have time to think and settle. You just got to get off what you can, and credit to Logan Thompson. That's a fantastic save to get, because it sure looks like Carolina should have been up 2-1 there.
I think Logan. I think if Stankoven gets anything on the puck, it's in. I think basically he whiffed on it. Carolina pretty good. Is 83% face-offs good?
I know Rod Brind'Amour likes that, and I know that you know that too. So hopefully they can keep that up the rest of the night here, especially as being the road team where you're not always getting the matchups. I think that's a wonderful start.
Walt Ruff, Hurricanes.com, content maestro, wizard of the keyboards. I appreciate your time, sir. I hope to not talk to you before overtime, but just in case.
All right, AJ, I'll be on standby.
All right, thanks, man. Walt Ruff. You follow him on Twitter at Walt Ruff. When we come back, we'll check an NHL scoreboard after these words from your local stations on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, Happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
He's setting up the play at Penn Station East Coast Subs.
Can I get a 6-inch hot grilled Italian sub?
He shoots.
Should I grab a bag of chips?
Nope. All our subs come with fresh cut fries.
He scores!
Everybody wins at Penn Station East Coast Subs with hot grilled subs for pickup or delivery, fresh cut fries, 5 convenient Triangle locations. You're set up for a great meal any day when you do it the Penn Station way. Check out the menu and order online today at penn-station.com.
Make your next tailgate more electric when you plug into a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Not only do they light up the scoreboard with outstanding payload and towing numbers, with available Pro Power on board, you can turn these Ford trucks into mobile generators to give your tailgate party an extra boost of energy. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com for great offers and to learn more about F-150 and Super Duty. See owner's manual for important operating instructions.
All right, a check of the first period scoreboard tells us that there are no other scores, but it's brought to you by Cardinal Apparel, proud partner and T-shirt provider of the Carolina Hurricanes. 1-1, Anthony Beauvillier for Washington counters the Jordan Staal goal for Staal, his first of the playoffs. Coming up later on, Dallas will try to eliminate the Winnipeg Jets. In Winnipeg, they lead that series 3-1. Only one assist for Mikko Rantanen in the Stars Game 4 win. That kind of passes for a slump for Rantanen right now. Mikael Granlund with a hat trick, his first postseason hat trick in his career, in the win for all three Dallas's goals in a 3-0 win. Edmonton eliminated Vegas last night 4-1 in 5 games. They win that series 4-1. Only goal in the game in overtime. Kasperi Kapanen, that's right, Sammy Kapanen's kid, scores the overtime game winner as Edmonton eliminates the Golden Knights. Florida beat Toronto 6-1 in Toronto, and that series shifts back to South Florida for a Game 6 tomorrow night. Mike and Tripp, they'll have the second period when we come back after these words from your local stations on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers. Call my mom more.
Ugh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey everyone, Adney and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch this movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Welcome back inside Capital One Arena for the start of the second period of game number 5 of this second round playoff series between the Hurricanes and Capitals. Carolina leads the series 3-1, but this game, Chip Tracy, after 20 minutes, is tied at 1.
Yeah, I do think, and I mentioned it to you during the intermission, in the 2 games in this building, the Caps' best period have been their second periods. Long second period change. Both teams utilized all 6 defensemen dressed in the first period. Nikishin played just under 5 minutes. So what's this second period going to bring? Because Carolina, the only special team situation was a Washington power play. Carolina had the better play.
And we are underway here in the second. Washington wins the draw, and Dubois will get it in the Kane zone, trying to center it, knocked away neatly by Burns. And one to be cleared out, but kept in by Chikrin, and a great left pad save made by Anderson. Rebound, though, controlled by Washington. Dubois drops it for Chikrin. Chikrin, spinorama, backhand save. Anderson, rebound was available. Slavin, though, bats it to safety.
You are right. That save on Chikrin, who has started to really build a game through traffic. Cam Ward talked to Adam Gold about it in our pregame show. That was underrated, how easy he made it look.
Now Burns pestered behind the net. It comes free, and right there, Frederick Anderson able to freeze it with the catching glove.
That is something I really enjoyed. Adam's hot stove with the Hurricanes legend and former playoff MVP. And one of the questions Adam asked Cam was about, is it different playing on the road? Cam talked about loving to be able to silence a crowd, but Anderson right here, when you need to take a whistle, when Washington's had a really good early push on the first shift of the period, I think that's where you feel it. You take a whistle so you get the reset.
Face off to the left of Frederick Anderson. One by Stahl, one back, but Orlov bothered by his former teammate, Alexander Ovechkin. Second chance to clear. Can't do it. Kept in behind the net, Beauvillier. We'll get it to Ovechkin. He'll leave it behind the net. Strome wants to get to it. Stahl bats at it. And now Carolina, Walker will take a hit. Martinook goes it clear. Can't do it. Kept in, but the shot is deflected over the glass into the netting. 1 minute, 7 seconds has gone by here in the second period.
There's room for the Hurricanes to be cleaner defensively. Martinook just looked up to the ceiling of the building because he knew he had a chance to get the puck out. Then you come up with a block after the Caps keep it in. I just think that whether it be errant clearing attempts, breakdowns in coverage, that there is room for the Hurricanes to be cleaner defensively here so far.
And Stahl wins the draw, and it deflects right back to Frederick Anderson, who again, going back to, he'll get the whistle and take another draw.
Yeah, and Ovechkin, has spent a lot of time at 5-on-5 in his own end, and Spencer Carberry is going to leave he and Strome and Beauvillier, the goal scorer, on the ice to give them as many offensive zone starts as he can, because there haven't been a ton.
And he draws one back, and Carlson's shot is deflected by Carrier. Shot from the point by Sandin, and that is going to be gobbled up there by Frederick Anderson.
That got tipped in close range. I was watching the game last night. Sergei Bobrovsky, he had the cushion of that huge lead, but he made a couple of tip saves. That got tipped off of the Sandin shot by Ovechkin. Quality save.
Now a chance for Carolina to clear, and what a clear it is. As Carrier will push his way around Sandin. Carlson bothered by Stahl. Up for Beauvillier. He'll get it to Strome. Washington, Sandin looks for Beauvillier, the one-time first-round pick of the New York Islanders. He'll get this into the Kane zone, but Burns is there. He'll put it on the tape of Taylor Hall. Hall through the middle of the rink into the Washington zone. Down the left wing boards, looking to center it. Goes off of Chikrin's skate. Bounces to the corner. And Washington can clear. Leonard will send it out. McMichael wants to get behind the defense. He does, but the puck deflects into the corner. He'll have to play it around the boards.
Heck of a play from Goss Isbear.
Now kept in by Roy, looking for a deflection by McMichael. Got it, but it's shoveled just wide. Now Leonard can't handle it behind the net. Nikisha gives it away, and that's going to be swept just wide. Second chance from Roy, and he scores. Matt Roy, who has been in this series one of the Caps' best players, has put Washington out in front 2-1.
Well, it's just 2 minutes and 15 seconds in, but the Caps have just been better in this period. And their defense, I think, has been dangerous all night long. Nikishin had what you would call a glaring turnover. He had possession below the goal line. He tried to loft it on the backhand, went to the middle. It wasn't executed. So Washington is able to continue on their forecheck. And Hall was going out in the shooting lane to challenge Roy. And it looked like it hit the leg of Hall and then fluttered in end over end, beating Anderson on the short side. I think Freddie had trouble seeing that, and then once it hits Hall, that puck goes end over end. There's going to be a challenge here. Was this offside?
Timeout, Carolina.
No, a timeout. The only reason Rob would call a timeout here, because there was no goalie interference, is to take a look at an entry.
Yeah.
To see if it possibly was offside. That's the only reason. He's looking down at his monitor on the bench, and it just gives you more time and consult with looking at it. Chychrun dragged the puck.
Oh, that's
offside. That is offside. What a use of the timeout. Gives Chris Huffine, Paul Fink, the video coaching staff, because you can't be wrong. It's McMichael that enters the zone. Really good stick from Gostisbehere to delay the entry as McMichael enters the zone. That's offside.
Carolina challenging the play for offside prior to the goal.
We've seen Rod do this before. I'm trying to remember the game late in the regular season. Use your timeout. You can't afford to be wrong on a coach's challenge, even as good as your penalty kill has been. So use the timeout because it happens so quickly. Can't afford to be wrong. Give your video staff more of a chance to figure out if it's worthy of challenging, and it was.
After reviewing the play was offside. We have no goal. Please reset the clock to 18:04.
Francis Chiron with the call, and what a great use of your timeout for the Canes coaching staff and Rod Brindamore, as it was clear McMichael was offside.
Well, I can tell you, Gostisbehere's stick on Chychrun is the only reason that Chychrun had to delay his entry and cause McMichael to precede the puck into the Carolina zone. Gostisbehere's stick was everything to that. What a use of the timeout from Rod.
Now we'll see if the Canes can get some momentum off of that, because this building got deflated a little bit as that goal's taken off the board. Now Eric Robinson continuing to play a physical game here in this series and in this postseason. Came into tonight with 38 hits. Washington will flip one into the Canes zone. Orlov will beat Radish to it. And Dowd tries to step into the play. Duhaime does. Kotkaniemi watching him along the left wing boards. But Blake will backtrack. He'll skate this puck through the neutral zone into the Washington zone. He'll crisscross. He'll drop it back. Kotkaniemi. He'll feed Slavin at the left point. Slavin gets a shot through traffic. Looks for a redirect, and that's kicked to the corner. Good thought there from Carolina. Now Burns up the boards and out to Aho. We'll roll this one in. Thompson plays it to Roy. Well, thought he had his first goal of this postseason, but that was taken off, and now this puck all the way in the Canes zone. It's going to be icing with 17 minutes remaining here in this second period.
And you get an offensive zone draw off of icing. You won 83% of your face-offs in the first period. Playoff series, it's about moments. And Washington thought they had their first lead of the night. Just a stellar challenge. Do they sag? Did Carolina, during the coach's challenge and the timeout, did they use it as an opportunity to reset, knowing that Washington has had the edge here, albeit in the first 3 minutes of the period?
And another positive out of it, your rookie defenseman, Alexander Nikishin, doesn't have to worry about, did he make a play that led to a goal? Because it doesn't count.
Good point.
There's now a loose puck in the Washington zone. Dowd got to it, but what a play by Jarvis to seal him off. And Roy wants to hit Aho, but he'll deliver the hit. That allows Slavin to charge after it. I'll drop this one back. Send across. Burns his shot. That'll be deflected wide. Right idea, but Dowd was able to get the stick to that one. And when Dowd wants to clear it in, it goes off of Burns. Wilson chips it into the corner. Burns. He senses the pressure coming and able to move this one out. Svechnikov can't handle it in the neutral zone, and this is going to be touched with a high stick by Washington, and that'll stop play with 16:19 remaining in the second period. 1-1 is our score.
The Canes are just a little bit looser defensively, and that's a fortunate high stick, because they're just not managing the puck as cleanly as they have at other points in this series.
I mean, I'll be the master of the obvious question. It's part of that because you don't have your normal rotation in here right now.
I'm putting a lot of it, truthfully, on the forwards. I think that they're not stopping and starting. They're looping. As I mentioned in the first period, that at times they've gotten puck focused, but really, I want to see them stop looping and stopping and starting more. The forwards more than anything.
And another icing here as Washington had the first delay, touching the puck with a high stick. Now we're going to bring the puck even further back into the Washington zone. It's Carolina moving right to left here in the second period.
You got that right. and Jordan Stahl. He only had 3 faceoffs in the first period, but he won 2 out of the 3. Of course, Carolina's goal scorer. Let's see if he can beat Strome here.
Face off to the right of Thompson, and it's a clean win for Stahl. Back for Walker. Walker gets it through, and camped out in the blue paint was Carrier. Washington able to clear. Walker with a nice play in the neutral zone, but Washington back to it. But losing the puck there is Beauvillier, and it's worked up for Carrier. Now loose puck, center ice. Walker with it. He goes around Strome. Walker takes a look. Carrier out in front. Couldn't deflect it on track. Now a chance here from Stahl from distance. Right from the boards. Near the left circle, and Thompson had to be ready there.
With a juicy rebound. Continue those sharp-angled shots.
Now Carrier with it. Along the right wing boards. And it'll be loose and it'll be chopped into the Canes bench. So another whistle here with 15:31 remaining in this second period. 1-1 score.
I mean, Thompson made those 2 phenomenal saves at the end of the first period. Holland even better with the heel of his stick on Stankoven. Where was that? Right in the interior, in the grade A district, where he's had a tough time in a couple of different dimensions is the shots from the sharp angles, like Stahl just had. He booted that rebound right into the slot. I've talked about the shoulders being available. Keep firing from sharp angles.
Face off in the Washington zone. Roslovic ties it up, and he'll get it to Hall. And trying to find Stankoven, but that will chip its way to Tom Wilson. Wilson got it to the Kings blue line, pawed down by Gostisbehere, but Carolina couldn't touch it. And a great play just inside their blue line. Stankoven gets it to Hall. And this will be icing as Hall cleared it in, but on the wrong side of center ice. And for Carolina, this will be a defensive zone draw in front of Frederick Anderson.
Yeah, and Gostisbehere and Nikishin now not being able to change. Does Carberry stick with the Dubois line, or does he go with Ovechkin? He's going to stick with the Dubois line. Hall just didn't, it looked like he didn't have the recognition. He had a guy on him to gain the offensive red line. Shane Gostisbehere continues for me to have his best defensive hockey of the playoffs.
Now face-off one back for Van Riemsdyk through traffic. Anderson gets a piece. Stankoven tries to chip it around Chychrun. Can't do it. Dubois into the corner. He'll take a hit there from Roslovic. Then centering attempt. But Nikishin reads the play, takes it away from Wilson. And Stankoven knocks it away from Chychrun, but it's a long change here in the second period.
You see what Nikishin did there again on the backhand, like on the overturned goal? But he got more on it and kept it to the outside of the rink.
Now Dubois muscles his way around Gostisbehere. Nikishin, he flies and settles down and able to make the play, but we're going to get a call. Another penalty coming up to Carolina.
Announcement coming.
Carolina number 21, minor penalty for tripping.
Well, I want to get a look at this. Obviously, the rule is even if you get the puck first, Dubois had the puck. He got the puck first, and then he did get the legs. Roslovic, by the way, came and supported Nikishin and made a heck of a play because Wilson was all alone in front. That is the right call. I see this as a massive kill because now, going back to Game 4, the power play opportunities, including a 5-on-3, are 7-3 for Washington. At some point, you know Carolina, at least you think they're going to get on the power play. I think this is a very consequential kill.
Washington will win the draw. It goes back to Chychrun. Throw it down low, right back up, low to high. Chychrun at the left point, across for Ovechkin at the right point. It'll be played for Strome. Strome able to find Wilson. Wilson will chip it back for Strome. He works his way out in front. Rebound in that shot from Chychrun doesn't get through. Now Slavin trying to make a play behind the net. Worked out to the boards. Wilson, he was given a little bit of an armbar there by Burns, but the puck comes over the Canes blue line.
Is this the most noticeable? He's got the puck now. He had a goal in the third period Monday. Is this the most noticeable Chychrun's been offensively?
Yeah.
I think it has.
100% coming off of a huge season. Now Wilson charges into the Canes zone. Then he runs over Burns looking for a penalty. Puck comes back to Chychrun. Goes across to Ovechkin in his office. And he misses. Anderson got an arm to it. Now Ovechkin trying to center it. Stahl plays it away from Wilson. Burns comes up with a puck. And he will just float this one back into the Washington zone.
Hockey sense. Chychrun had the puck at the top of the key. And Anderson anticipated he was going to Ovechkin in his office. He was a step ahead of his save with his movement.
Well, Leonard, he lost it along the boards, but Carolina can't clear. Hand pass, though, as Carlson knocked it down. And it went to Leonard, so Carolina catches a break with 39 seconds left in the penalty kill to Alexander Nikishin.
I'm not going to go so far as to, when I told you the double minor up 1-0 in the first period, that if Carolina killed that, they were going to win the game. I'm not going to go so far as to say that, but I will say, you get through the final 39 seconds of this Nikishin penalty, you're in a good spot.
Aho wins the draw. And Walker plays it up the boards for Jarvis. Jarvis around Dubois. Good stick by Dubois, though, as Jarvis wanted to find Aho, but he knocked it instead for Carlson. Now Ovechkin flip this one in. He's able to get it to Dubois. And Carlson at the left point across for Ovechkin. 15 seconds left in the kill for Carolina. Now Orlov trying to come up with a puck away from Protas, and does. And Carolina clears, and that'll force Ovechkin back to his zone.
Yeah, but Nikishin might have to stay on the ice, so you're going to have 3 defensemen on the ice here.
Now a cross corner for Dubois, and that'll be deflected out of play as the Canes kill off the penalty, and Nikishin can head to the bench.
Who makes the play? What a coming out party for Sean Walker in these Stanley Cup playoffs in the first 2 rounds.
He's been brilliant, and Carolina right now is tied at 1 with 12:29 left in the second period here in game number 5 with Washington. You're listening to the Carolina Hurricanes playoff hockey on the Canes Radio Network.
To us, every moment matters. Moments of quiet perseverance and loud celebrations. Starting moments and the moments that make us feel unstoppable. We're here to help you be present for them all. UNC Health is dedicated to getting you back to what you love. Faster, stronger, and healthier. Official healthcare provider of the Carolina Hurricanes.
For almost a decade, the Hurricanes have trusted their t-shirt needs with Cardinal Apparel. Carolina Hurricanes alumni Shane Willis here to tell you Cardinal Apparel has expanded and relocated to better serve their clients across the state. Formerly known as Raleigh Screen Print, Cardinal Apparel will produce high-quality screen printing while working directly with customers. Don't waste your time online trying to order through third-party vendors. Save money and time working with Cardinal Apparel. Visit cardinalapparel.com to start your order today.
Barbecue season is back. Hey, it's Ellen. And this is Sarah Beth. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese.
I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and our Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
12:29 left here in the second period. 1-1 is our score inside Capital One Arena, alongside Trip Tracy and with our technical tandem of Pat Malley and the always technically savvy Trip Tracy and Rusty Helzer.
That is the overstatement, not understatement, of this entry. As people have fallen in love, and thank you to the Huge Caniacs for their reaction to the booth cam. I have nearly dismantled it with my tech ability on a few different occasions. It's had to go back to the Sony store for reboot.
Now a face-off, one to the right of Anderson. Dowd got it back, but it's flown wide of Anderson's net. Puck worked into the corner, chipped around the boards. Good work here by Roslovic. He tries to play it to the corner, but Dowd's going to get to it. He's marked by Taylor Hall. Hall sees this one get thrown out in front for Duhane. Great stick by Orlov. And now it'll come free for Roy. Roy's shot doesn't get through. Blocked again by Orlov.
All in the vicinity, too. Some big blocks. Washington's defensemen have been very dangerous offensively. Very much so.
Most noticeable they've been in the series in this game here tonight. Slavin gets to it at center ice. He'll fling this one in off of the end boards. Stankoven going after it like a bulldog. Able to knock it back for Robinson. Trying to find Kotkaniemi. That'll be deflected away, and Washington up the boards and out. Slavin pestered there by Duhane. Able to get it to Burns. Right to Kotkaniemi. Middle of the rink into the Washington zone. He dropped it, but Blake loses it. And Washington hands it off for Van Riemsdyk. Van Riemsdyk into the Canes zone. And we're going to get an interference penalty coming up against Washington. So Carolina gets their first man advantage here tonight.
Francis Sharon with the upcoming announcement.
Washington, number 72, minor penalty for interference.
Burns was holding the blue line. And Beauvillier, I thought he was guilty of interference. The trail official, Van Riemsdyk, was entering the zone. Sharon was the back official. Now, Beauvillier would argue he was trying to get himself onside and get into the neutral zone. Either way, this is an opportunity, your first man advantage of the night. Call a power play goal there, fella.
Now, if the Hurricanes put the biscuit in the basket on the power play, get a free Bowberry biscuit at participating Bojangles. Tomorrow morning, it's Bow time. Carolina works it to Svechnikov in the slot. Loose puck. Bounces back. Gostisbehere will settle it down. Now Jarvis to Svechnikov to Blake. And move it around for Aho behind the net. Aho tips it up for Gostisbehere. He'll move it quickly. Jarvis inside the blue line. Aho comes all the way around to get it to Gostisbehere. Jarvis in the left circle. Jarvis now moving into the middle. Gostisbehere tees it up, and Thompson catches it and will hang on.
You know, I was just getting to the point where I was ready to say, be willing to shoot the puck. Gostisbehere, who got a power play goal in this building back in Game 2 in the third period. You had motion, you had a willingness to shoot the puck. Another face-off shifts to the tougher side for Carolina, but Jarvis is going to take it, not Aho. This is usually a communication thing between these two guys on this side of the rink. Who's feeling it? Jarvis against Dowd.
Protas and Dowd are the forwards. Carlson and Roy. Jarvis, they'll tip it out in front, and Blake whacks at it. It is knocked back to the blue line, and Carolina will keep it in. Gostisbehere to Svechnikov, and around the boards. And now a second free puck, and Washington will get to it, and there is plenty of time and space to send this one the length of the ice by Carlson.
Svechnikov lost his stick after that try. I think Jordan Stahl initially lefty gave him his, and then a new one.
Now Aho is the Canes with a good zone entry here. They'll work it around Svechnikov. Left wing boards, left point. They'll work it to the middle for Gostisbehere. Now Blake. Jackson Blake wanted to find Jarvis. Instead it goes to Aho. Gostisbehere with it, trying to make a move, and Protas uses all 6'6" to knock it away. Now Carlson back to Protas. Short-handed chance here for Washington. Nice play by Aho, though, to seal off Protas.
See if they go to the other group here late in this power play.
Don't think they will with a long change. 30 seconds left. Carolina drops it back for Gostisbehere. He'll get this one. Jarvis. He is tied up by Van Riemsdyk. And a chance to make the play and get it out by Duhaime. And now you'll see the second group, but 15 seconds left on the power play.
That's Washington's best kill coming to an end here in some time.
Kotkaniemi. They'll rim this one around. Stankoven. He'll play it past Protas. Back around for Hall. 1 second left. Power play's over. Burns with it. Burns is going to bank this one all the way around the boards. Beauvillier comes out of the box. Slavin chips it away. Beauvillier will stay on the ice as Burns has it. Up for Hall. Hall. And Van Riemsdyk fought for it, and then it finds Dubois, but coming all the way back was Kotkaniemi to clear that as Dubois thought he had a little bit more time. Now Burns up along the boards. Stankoven. He'll get it across Kotkaniemi, then goes rink wide for Hall. A chance for Carolina to get this in deep. Stankoven has it knocked away, knocked out of the zone. Carolina will chip it back in, but they're making a change, and they'll allow Washington to take possession with 8:35 left here in this second period. 1-1 game. Now it's Walker with it behind his net. Watched by Dubois. Now out for Carrier. Carrier works his way around Chikrin. He's got Stahl with him. Carrier, wrap-around chance. Roy with a good play out in front. Now Martin at sharp angle, and Thompson makes the save. The rebound was there, but he covers it up quickly with a catching glove.
Take us to break. Carrier, this is the closest he's been, I think, since Game 1 against New Jersey to getting on the board offensively. They're rounding the net.
8:16 left here in this second period. Canes and Caps are still tied at 1 here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
Hey everyone, Adnan and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch this movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hockey is a game of speed, and the Triangle is one of the fastest-growing regions in the country. At the center of the excitement are Lenovo and the Carolina Hurricanes, partnering to unveil the Lenovo Center. With one of its global headquarters in the Triangle, Lenovo is the perfect partner to launch a new era of technology and fun. Don't miss out. Come check out the Lenovo Center and cheer on the Canes.
Who wants to save up to $1 a gallon on gas with Harris Teeter fuel points? It's easy. Shop at Harris Teeter with your Vic card. Earn 1 fuel point for every dollar spent. Redeem your points for gas savings at Harris Teeter fuel centers in our partnering Amoco and BP gas stations. You can even check your fuel points in the Harris Teeter app. Get 4 times the fuel points when you shop on Fridays. Harris Teeter, in food with love.
All road games this postseason, the Carolina Ale House in Cary will offer the ultimate viewing experience for all fans. Be sure to join Stormy and the gang at the Carolina Ale House in Cary for your chance to win autographed Canes items, official merchandise, and more. Carolina Ale House, the exclusive sponsor of Canes playoff watch parties. And hello to everybody in Cary watching here tonight. Canes and Caps tied at 1, 8:16 left in the second period.
You know, the shots are 3-3 in the period. Both teams have a power play. I just think the Caps have been a little bit sharper. Let's see what Carolina can do now in the second half of regulation.
Aho wins the draw. Back for Walker, tipped away by Wilson. Into the corner it goes. Wilson leaks out of the zone. Washington wanted to hit him with a pass. Too far. Walker will get to it. And he sidesteps Wilson, who wanted to plaster him along the boards. And now Walker's going to beat him up the ice into the Washington zone. Walker with a little flip shot. Sticked away, but right to Svechnikov by Thompson. Now behind the net, Chikrin, and he is hit by Svechnikov. Roy hanging on to the puck. Can't get it past Orlov.
Has not been a very physical game. This may be the least physical game of the series so far.
Now Protas for Roy to Chikrin. Chikrin into the Kane zone. Backhand right on Anderson. Makes the save. Rebound cleared away by Carolina. Gaining center ice and flipping it in is Jarvis. He'll line up Sandin into the corner to the left of Thompson. Now puck behind the net. It'll be played back. Slavin. Left circle looking for the redirect and just couldn't get it. Now Carolina keeps it in. Burns out in front with a chance for Jarvis. And Jarvis got the stick to it, but Thompson helped clear it to the corner and now out to center ice.
Burns was going to go D to D, but he saw Jarvis in front. Almost cashed on a ready shoot.
Now Burns with a keep in as the Canes work it back in. Little friendly fire there. And Washington back the other way. It's Leonard. Leonard shot in. Slavin gets the stick to it and deflects it out of play into the netting.
It's a key play there from Slavin. The Caps had numbers. He didn't have the ideal positioning. I know he's just a rookie. He's been in and out of the lineup. Slavin's stick had been on the interior protecting a pass to McMichael. And then as Leonard was shooting the puck, brought his stick to the other side with his range and went stick on puck at the very last second. He covered a ton of real estate, passing lane first and then denying the shot. And Leonard, I know he's just a rookie, but he can shoot the puck. That's a key block.
Now Mangiapane moves this one for Carlson around the boards as offensive zone draw for Washington was one, but now Canes are able to flip this one in. Now Carrier comes up with a turnover in the Washington zone. He is flying here tonight. Carolina now will work this one out. And he chipped in and Sandin works it around. Into the Canes zone. Mangiapane wanted to center it for McMichael. Said it'll come free and Stahl. He'll get it in deep. Direction, that was Robinson.
Yeah, he spent this shift in Carrier's spot with Stahl and Martinuk. Let's see if that's just temporary or if there's an adjustment going on here. Both guys have been good for me in the heaviness of Robinson and Carrier in this game.
For sure. Walker is pasted along the boards, but able to clear, but Alexiev with it at his blue line. This will be chipped. Ovechkin with a shot right on. Anderson makes the save. Rebound will bounce to the right boards. Alexiev jumps in to try to make a play. Carolina can clear. Spinning with its Orlov. He'll work it forward. Carrier. He'll play this one around Van Riemsdyk. Carrier looking to center it. It'll be knocked away. Now he'll get some help. Good work here. I think we do see a change here.
No doubt about it.
Carrier has joined Kotkaniemi and Blake. And Carrier steps into Alexiev. And then Strome. He gets labeled by Kotkaniemi in the corner, but Washington with a puck. Beauvillier. He'll flip it to the middle logo. That'll be worked in by Alexiev. He'll go for a change.
At wrister in transition from Ovechkin. I've talked to Anderson a bunch. You don't have time to make saves on Ovechkin. You got to put yourself in position to get hit. So on the glove side, he really brought the arm into the body. If he beats you around you, okay, you can live with it, but not by overreaching. Nice job.
Hand pass called against Carolina in the neutral zone will get us a whistle with 4:54 left here in the second period. And the Hurricanes and Capitals are still tied at 1. You're listening to Canes Playoff Hockey on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
New scratch-offs are out. That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Oh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds winning range from 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
4:54 left in the second, tied at 1. Canes and Caps here in Game 5. Let's go inside the mind of Chip Tracy right now.
Inside the mind, offensive zone draw here for Washington. It hasn't been by a lot, but I think the Caps have had a little edge in this period. So with just under 5 to play, so a lot of runway left in this period, but I like Carolina's third periods here in both Game 1 and Game 2. You'd love to get one late, but if you can get to this intermission, no worse than 1-1, and know that you could win a period and win a series, I'd take that. A lot of time left before then.
Face off to the left of Anderson. It's worked along the boards. Stahl's going to take a shove by Duhaime, the former Minnesota Wild. And the puck works its way around to the other side of the boards. Martinook's underneath it, trying to come out with it. And got a bunch of humanity clawing at it now. And Duhaime with a cross-check on Martinook, who's on one knee. Burns leaning into someone, and now Carolina Slavin wants to push it free, but it's kept into the blue line, and a long drive by Chychrun is hung on to by Anderson, and a little something behind Anderson's net. Nothing's going to come of it.
And Anderson's going to take his whistle, and Carolina's going to make a change. I've got to think that Ovechkin is coming out on the ice here. Nope, it's going to be the Dubois line with these offensive zone starts. We spoke about Duhaime, and I had a conversation with him before Game 3, and I admire the intangibles. I talked to him about blocking shots. He's a Providence collegiate product like Jankowski. His dad was a pro. He says his dad is the one that taught him the little things like blocking shots.
And he had 6 blocks in game 1. And Dubois wins the draw. That shot goes wide. Now Aho with it through the middle of the rink. Aho will hand this one off, looking for a little give and go from Jarvis, but getting in the way there was Washington. Now Aho with it again. They'll work it around. That was Wilson with a good defensive play. Then Wilson with a reverse hit, but Jarvis takes the hit. Canes try to make the play, and a stick absolutely exploded.
And Protas
And Carolina wanted to take advantage, but Protas able to get new lumber. Dubois, though, didn't see it was off the back of his heel. Didn't matter anyway. Offside is Washington with 3:35 left here in the second.
I think Orlov and the Canes are arguing that was a delayed offside, and
Right.
Carolina was about to rev it up in transition. So allow Washington to tag, allow Carolina to be able to create numbers in transition. It doesn't happen. You know, the other thing when you asked about my mind, and I mentioned this has been the least physical game of the series, I think the Hurricanes bench felt that. And they are trying to get more physical, in particular on the forecheck in the last several minutes.
As this draw, just outside the Caps blue line, Robinson pushes it back for Orlov. And Walker brings this one around the boards. Robinson comes charging in, and that'll create a turnover. Kotkaniemi had it, but it'll bounce away, then he'll keep it into Blake. Blake tries to step around Carlson, can't do it. Washington clears right to Orlov, right back into the Washington zone. Kotkaniemi chops it away from Carlson. Now a chance there for Robinson. Nothing doing here as this is cleared back out.
Get it back deep and get Ovechkin, who's on the ice, right back into his own end.
And that's what Carolina's done. Carlson fakes going one way. Washington is able to tip it out and go the other way. Then Strome plays it back for Carlson. Now they'll connect the dots. Ovechkin will leave it for Strome. Knocked away Orlov. Nikishin. They'll go into the corner. Orlov. He's watched by Nikishin.
Oh, nice play, Nikishin on Orlov. Or Ovechkin. Excuse me.
It's all right. It's a great play. Now it leads to Stankoven coming the other way. Stankoven setting it up. A chance for Hall. Rebounds out in front. Carolina swats at it. It's kept away. Now Nikishin at the left point. He'll work it. Centered for Hall. Hall. He'll make a move. On the right circle. His shot deflects off of Strome into the corner. Hall makes a play to get it back. Roslovic. Nikishin shot right on. And a big save by Thompson. Now Gostisbehere with it. He'll get it across. Off the boards, Nikishin will play it. He'll pass it, slap it off the inboards. Stankoven will bounce it off the backboard. He'll play it to himself. Stankoven has Nikishin at a sharp angle, and he'll just miss with that shot. And good news there, that was Alexander Nikishin's best shift of this game.
And against Ovechkin.
Now Gostisbehere, he'll load it up, bring it back into the Washington zone. Van Riemsdyk with one heck of a block. Puck goes into his equipment. We get a whistle, and then Gostisbehere is chopped down. And I think Carolina is getting a power play as Chychrun knocked down Gostisbehere.
Yeah, Chychrun, the puck was caught in Gostisbehere's midsection. It might be Van Riemsdyk. He was in the vicinity too. It was a key penalty killer. It's Van Riemsdyk. The puck was in the paraphernalia. It doesn't mean I love Trevor Van Riemsdyk, but he can't. It's not.
Yeah.
You can't go freewheeling and whack a guy. Your second power play of the period.
57, minor penalty for slashing.
Did not like Carolina's power play earlier in this period. Their power play has risen to the occasion after a slow start. Game 1 and the majority of Game 2. You're going to have just about the entirety with 1:41 left. Van Riemsdyk, part of Washington's penalty-killing crew. This is a terrific opportunity, and Rod is going to start with his second group. They didn't get any time on the previous power play in the period. Nope. I'm sorry. It's an adjustment because Gostisbehere was hurt.
Yeah.
It's Walker for Gostisbehere. So let's see how quickly Gostisbehere's just returned to the bench after that slash. Gets back on this one. Walker for now.
So it's the normal group, but it's Walker with it. He'll send it across. Svechnikov right into the catching glove. Thompson. That's a sturdy save from Logan Thompson.
Great save. Moving to his left. And he's able to flash the leather with the glove against the grain. Smart to establish the shot. Smart that now Gostisbehere can get back on the ice. Usually things go well on the man advantage when you shoot the puck early and win faceoffs along with it.
More time left in the penalty than there is in the period. So we'll pay attention to the period. One back for Gostisbehere. Carolina, Aho's got to play it around the linesman. That's going to benefit Washington for the moment. Now Carolina able to fence that one away. And be peeled back by Duhaime and then cleared all the way down. Nice play there by Carlson. That forces Gostisbehere back. And there's a minute 10 left in the period. We'll pay attention to that. And here comes Aho to Svechnikov. Into the zone around the boards. Blake's got to reach for it. He'll keep it in. Blake cross corner. Svechnikov. Drop back. Gostisbehere loads it up. And it's blocked by Wilson, who paid the price and deflected that one off the glass and out of play.
Huge block by Wilson. Good puck movement, Mike. And he isn't. Now he's staying on the ice. I know how people feel about him in Carolina, and I wish he'd chirp less, but he's a warrior.
Yeah.
And you look back to Game 2 and the defensive plays he made in Washington's only win of the series. Now let's move on.
Yeah.
You're late in this period, less than a minute to play. This is where you need a clean win from Sebastian Aho. He's already hunched over, getting himself ready. You haven't, for me, had enough clean face-off wins. You could really use one here.
Blake to his right, Svechnikov to his left, Jarvis behind him. And Gostisbehere is leaked to the top of the circles.
I think they must just be checking here, Gord Dwyer at the timekeeper's box to make sure that the time on the clock is correct. I can't think of anything else.
No, that'd be it, I would think.
All right, Mike, I think I've told you, you've usually followed suit. Not to put any undue pressure on you, my dear friend.
Shoulders.
You need to call a power play goal here late in the period.
I would love to with 56.9 seconds left. Hey, think of me as some bull that you would find out here in Washington, D.C. We'll make the most of it. They did take 0.9 seconds off the clock. It was at 56.9, and now it's at 56. So Aho, not a clean win, and then Svechnikov's stick breaks. But the Canes keep it in. Jarvis, he'll get it to Aho. Svechnikov, he'll head to the bench, he'll get a new stick. Now Blake knocked off the puck there by Roy. And this will be sent all the way down into the Cane zone with 35 seconds left here in the period.
That was a good spontaneous decision from Roy, knowing it became a 4-on-4, with Svechnikov having to go across the ice to the bench for a new stick.
Now Jarvis and Aho do a little hot potato with it. They'll get it into the zone. Drop back for Blake. He'll get it to Gostisbehere. 20 seconds left. Svechnikov. His pass tipped, but it still gets to Gostisbehere. Canes hanging on to it. Jarvis, Gostisbehere. Now a chance here. It's Aho. He'll drop it. Gostisbehere. Side of the net. Wanted to find Svechnikov too far. 7 seconds left. A chance to clear. Kept in by Aho. Now trailing with it. Across for Jarvis. Shot right on Thompson. Got across. I think it hit the crossbar.
They'll make sure. The call on the ice was the crossbar. Couldn't tell if it ever hit the back bar.
Well, Thompson's not sure from his reaction. If it's not, it's a Seth Jarvis snipe.
Come on, let's hope for back bar. Let's hope for back bar. No, they've already confirmed it, I think. Square off the crossbar. Jarvis is staying on the ice because he thought it may have gone back bar.
No.
Now a square on the crossbar. He had again over the shoulders. Had Thompson beat. Square. I was hoping for that.
I know.
Same situation, Eric Robinson's back bar beauty. Perfectly played. It hit the crossbar and then the post after, so a double whammy. Crossbar and then post on the blocker side and everything but score goal. And it was Blake that had helped to keep a puck in. Washington nearly had it clear, and it nearly led to a massive late goal.
Well, there'll be 19 seconds left of the power play to start the second period. 40 minutes in the books here at Capital One Arena, and we are tied at 1, Washington and Carolina. You are listening to Canes Playoff Hockey. We've got Adam Gold with our second intermission report. He'll be joined by someone entertaining, I'm sure of that. All that's coming up here. You're listening to Canes Playoff Hockey. 1-1 after 40 here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I am in studio with my friend Jeff Hoffman from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. So, front doors, that's the start of your house. You have a lot of options when it comes to doors.
Absolutely. Give us an opportunity to come out. We'll sit down with an iPad, actually develop the door for you. A couple different door styles or types to choose from, but then there's multiple styles that you can apply to that actual door. And of course, it's going to be installed by certified Provia installers.
800-672-4348, aluminumcompany.com.
Rev up your engines at Apex Racing Lab, the Triangle's largest sim racing destination. Experience the ultimate thrill with 16 cutting-edge simulators, expert instructors, and world-class virtual tracks. Apex Racing Lab brings the adrenaline-pumping world of sim racing to life. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned pro, you can race friends and family for fun or join a competitive league. Ready to race? Head to Apex Racing Lab in Cary's McGregor Village in Greater Raleigh and unleash your racing passion. Learn more at apexracinglab.com.
With over 200 stores to shop, where can you find everything you're looking for all in one place? Crabtree, the go-to premier shopping and dining destination in the Southeast. Shop Allen Edmonds, Altered State, Banana Republic, Brahmin, Brooks Brothers, Chubby's, Coach, H&M, Lego, Lululemon, Michael Kors, Tag Heuer, Tommy Bahama, and so many more. Shop your favorites, discover something new, then relax and dine. All at one convenient destination. Crabtree.
Adam Gold inside of our network studios. Still 1-1. We have played 40 minutes. 20 minutes from the second round, or the third round, rather, for the Hurricanes, possibly. Washington, 20 minutes, maybe, from a Game 6 in Raleigh on Saturday evening. I'm assuming it's evening. We have not been told what time the game will be. I am Adam Golden. This is the Lenovo Intermission Report. The period didn't start well for Carolina. Turnover from Alexander Nikishin, the rookie, ends up on the stick of Matt Roy. Roy's shot goes through for a goal just off the glove of Freddie Anderson, one that he might want to have back, but we don't have to worry about it because Washington was offside on the play. Caps were pretty good after that, but Carolina, I think, has kind of gotten the game back in their favor. By the way, that would have been a 2-1 Washington lead. The building would have gone bananas, and it was really deflating for them after that. Caps had a couple of other chances. Jacob Slavin with a blocked shot on Ryan Leonard in transition. But then Alexander Nikishin got a little bit better. Defended Alexander Ovechkin, had a couple of really dangerous looks on goal. Could have a goal if not for a good save by Logan Thompson. And then Carolina got a second power play in the period, and Seth Jarvis rang the crossbar right before the horn. 1-1 after 2. We'll listen to highlights next.
Hey everyone, Adnan Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch this movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
For almost a decade, the Hurricanes have trusted their t-shirt needs with Cardinal Apparel. Carolina Hurricanes alumni Shane Willis here to tell you Cardinal Apparel has expanded and relocated to better serve their clients across the state. Formerly known as Raleigh Screen Print, Cardinal Apparel will produce high-quality screen printing while working directly with customers. Don't waste your time online trying to order through third-party vendors. Save money and time working with Cardinal Apparel. Visit cardinalapparel.com to start your order today.
To us, every moment matters. Moments of quiet perseverance and loud celebrations. Starting moments and the moments that make us feel unstoppable. We're here to help you be present for them all. UNC Health is dedicated to getting you back to what you love. Faster, stronger, and healthier. Official healthcare provider of the Carolina Hurricanes.
We got highlights here on the Lenovo Intermission Report. I am Adam Gold, 1-1. After 40 and second period highlights, a service of Spectrum. A connection built for everywhere. That is life unlimited. That is Spectrum. In basically 2 minutes into the period, Washington, a little pressure inside the offensive zone. Alexander Nikishin, the rookie, making his NHL debut. Turnover leads to a Matt Waugh shot and a goal.
Looking at it, Chychrun dragged the puck.
Oh, that's
offside. That is offside. What a use of the timeout. Gives Chris Huffine, Paul Fink, the video coaching staff, because you can't be wrong. It's McMichael that enters the zone. Really good stick from Gostisbehere to delay the entry as McMichael enters the zone. That's offside.
Carolina challenging the play for offside prior to the goal. After reviewing the play was offside. We have no goal. Please reset the clock to 18:04.
These, very nice, very polite referees tonight. All right, that's good. So it's still 1-1. Late in the period, Alexander Nikishin, a rifle from the left point.
Stankoven setting it up. A chance for Hall. Rebounds out in front. Carolina swats at it. It's kept away. Hall makes a play to get it back. Roslovic. Nikishin shot right on. And a big save by Thompson.
He's got a heavy shot, man. It's going to be fun to watch for a long time. That one didn't go. Carolina got a power play. Trevor Van Riemsdyk, a bad-looking slash to the wrist of Shane Gostisbehere, who actually did end up coming back in. He didn't start the power play. Seth Jarvis almost ends it.
Across for Jarvis. Shot right on Thompson. Got across. I think it hit the crossbar.
They'll make sure. The call on the ice was the crossbar. Couldn't tell if it ever hit the back bar.
Well, Thompson's not sure from his reaction. If it's not, it's a Seth Jarvis snipe.
Come on, let's hope for back bar. Let's hope for back bar. No, they've already confirmed it, I think. Square off the crossbar. Jarvis is staying on the ice because he thought it may have gone back bar.
It did not. Crossbar and out. I think that is the, eighth pipe that Carolina has hit. A lot of plumbing, as I heard John Forsland say the other day. A lot of plumbing that the Hurricanes have hit. All right, it's 1-1. We got 20 minutes to play. We'll talk to Corey Lavalette about it next.
Who wants to save up to $1 a gallon on gas with Harris Teeter fuel points? It's easy. Shop at Harris Teeter with your Vic card. Earn 1 fuel point for every $1 spent. Redeem your points for gas savings at Harris Teeter fuel centers in our partnering Amoco and BP gas stations. You can even check your fuel points in the Harris Teeter app. Get 4 times the fuel points when you shop on Fridays. Harris Teeter, in food with love.
Barbecue season is back. Hey, it's Ellen. And this is Sarah Beth. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese.
I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and our Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Adam Gold inside of our network studio. It's 1-1 between the Hurricanes and the Washington Capitals. Game 5. Hurricanes with a 3-1 series lead. Let's bring in Corey Lavalette from The Athletic and North State Journal at Corey Lav on Twitter. What do you think through 40 minutes, sir?
Pretty even game, I would say. Chances going both ways. That a couple that, obviously the disallowed goal on the offside and then that late shot by Jarvis, we could be at 2-2 instead or 2-1 one way or the other. But I thought it was pretty even, and, the Hurricanes really haven't established a 4-line game yet. And, if they can do that in a third, I think they close this out.
Yeah, Carol, and me, they've sort of been in spurts today. There was a really good shift that led to the Trevor Van Riemsdyk slashing penalty on Shane Gostisbehere. It kind of extended zone time for that. What have you thought 40 minutes of Alexander Nikishin?
Yeah, no surprise. Struggles early on, looked a little nervous. Takes that one penalty, kind of a weird one, just going down to break up a play, and ends up sliding into Dubois, who didn't seem too interested in not falling over there. But that late shift there, where he defends Ovechkin 1-1, gets the puck up ice, and then he's involved offensively is what you can expect from him, I think.
Yeah, the defense on Ovechkin, he actually knocked the puck away from him one time, and then kind of hounded him up out of the zone, and then a couple of really nice-looking shots, later on in the period. Second power play looked much better than the first one, didn't it?
Well, I mean, they're half an inch from being up in this game on it. I thought the movement was really good. They did a good job of rotating around and guys changing positions. So, yeah, I would agree. And they've got a little bit of it left here. Probably not enough time to actually set something up. But I think that's a positive, especially when you consider still the Capitals can't seem to do anything against the Hurricanes penalty kill.
What do you make of the emergence here of Sean Walker as the guy lugging heavy minutes for Carolina on the blue line?
Somebody should write a story about that guy. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this is coming. I think he's probably earmarked to play next to Jacob Slavin next year, and he's kind of an every situation guy. And when I talked to Rod Brindamore about him the other day, and I kind of compared him to Brady Shea, he said, "Yeah, they are pretty similar. Obviously, Shea's a bigger player, but the way they skate, the way they can contribute in all aspects, the speed, all of those things. He is a really good fit for what they want to do. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he plays bigger than he is. And everybody I talked to used the word feisty with him. So I think he definitely has a little bite to his game too, which is always nice. And he's a really valuable guy that you can blame me in part. I don't think we talk about him enough.
Well, I'm not going to blame you because he spent most of the year, playing basically 6 defenseman minutes. I mean, he was, I don't know what his average is, but most nights he's between 15 and 17, 16 and 18. But Game 3 leads them in ice time. He didn't lead them in ice time. Matter of fact, he only played 16 and a half minutes in Game 4, but he played with Jacob Slavin in the third period. And he is by a minute and a half number 1 in ice time tonight.
Yeah, he logged some big minutes in the first period for sure. I think he was almost at 9 minutes after the first, and I think they're gonna rely on him, especially without Chatfield in there. All of a sudden, he becomes one of the top 4 penalty killers too on the back end, and he's has no problem handling those minutes. It's just they have 4 good guys in front of him that are good at it. So, yeah, he's with Chatfield out, he's going to see more of those PK minutes, too. And then, obviously, Rod Brindamore is trusting him more and more in shutdown situations, end-game stuff, things like that, where I think his speed and those kind of things, his ability to get to pucks a little quicker than Burns maybe is valuable.
Corey Lavalette, speaking of valuable. North State Journal and The Athletic. You should check him out. At Corey Lav on Twitter. Thank you very much, my man. I will see you very soon. Hopefully not Saturday night, though.
Sure thing. Yeah, go read that Sean Walker story so everyone can learn a little more about that guy.
Okay, I'll do that. That's awesome. All right, we'll take a break. We'll check an NHL scoreboard after this word from your local stations on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Discover the thrill of precision and elegance with Omega at Bailey's Fine Jewelry. From the depths of the ocean to the heights of space, Omega's Seamaster and Speedmaster collections are crafted for those who dare to explore. With a heritage rooted in innovation and a timeless style inspired by sports, space, and cinematic legends, Omega is the gift for every adventurer. Find your perfect watch at Bailey's Fine Jewelry in Raleigh's Village District. Voted Best Jeweler. Learn more at BaileyBox.com.
Adam Gold inside of our network studios on the Lenovo Intermission Report, and Lenovo brings us a second period scoreboard. 1-1, Hurricanes and The Capitals Game 5, Stahl at 9:38 for Martinook. Beauvillier unassisted at 13:41. That's the scoring here. Coming up a little bit later on, Dallas is in Winnipeg, trying to do exactly what the Hurricanes are doing. Mikko Rantanen only had one assist in Dallas's 3-0 shutout win of the Jets in Game 4. Again, Dallas 1 win away from advancing. Edmonton eliminated Vegas in 5 games last night, and Florida has a 3-2 lead as they head to Game 6 in Sunrise tomorrow. Canes on the road. You should check out the Carolina Ale House in Cary. That is the official home for all Canes watch parties. Check it out. Check out Mike and Trip with the third period next.
Hey everyone, Adnan and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch this movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We all love cheering on the Hurricanes, and our Triangle neighbor Lenovo is giving us something else to cheer about. The global technology giant is going all in to enhance the fan experience at the Lenovo Center and support the transformative entertainment district, making it a one-stop shop for all things fun in the Triangle. Hockey, entertainment, food, and more. Check it out at the newly named Lenovo Center and Entertainment District, where celebration starts in the Triangle. See you there.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
We get ready to start period number 3 here in Game 5 of the second-round matchup between the top 2 teams in the Metro Division, the Hurricanes, with a 3-1 series lead, tied at 1 with the Capitals, alongside Trip Tracy. Mike Maniscalco here. Trip, it's the simplest equation I can tell you. You win the period, you win the series if you're Carolina.
But what I'm getting to right now, you're going to start with Slavin and Burns with 19 seconds left on this power play. But you remember starting at third period way earlier this year in New Jersey, where you sent Svechnikov to nullify icing, and he scored. Similar situation. You get that opportunity, you send him again.
Up front, Aho, flanked by Svechnikov and Jarvis. But the faceoff's won by Dowd, so the Canes won't get that chance. Carlson fires it into the Cane zone. Maybe they will. As Slavin, he'll carry it across his blue line. Up for Jarvis. 7 seconds left on the power play. Jarvis has it swatted into the corner. Dowd plays it to Carlson, and he will bring that one all the way around the zone and out. Out of the box comes Van Riemsdyk. Carolina now 0 for 2 on the man advantage here tonight. Now Burns will get one from the right point, deflected by Aho, but that'll skitter away to the corner. Loose puck. Svechnikov gets to it outside the Caps blue line, but he's at the end of his shift. He'll throw this back in. Carolina has held Washington to just 9 shots through 2 periods. Canes, though, only 16 of their own. And now a long breakout pass for Dubois. Dubois breaks in. Backhand chance. Anderson makes the save. Oh, my goodness. Mr. Anderson gets across and denies Dubois.
Truthfully, that's as flexible of a save as Freddie has made as a Hurricane. Dubois has condor-like reach. He made a move from his forehand to his backhand, and Freddie got every bit of coverage with those pinball flippers with his glove toe. And then he, as he's making the save, with that flexibility and desperation, he deadened that puck on his toe because Wilson got there first. And if that puck comes off his pad in lively fashion, off of the backhand.
Carolina 48, minor penalty for charging.
Wow, and they're calling charging out of all of it. I'm going to tell you, Freddie Anderson just made a brilliant save. and to deaden that puck, to not give Wilson a second opportunity, and all of it. Boy, Martinook guilty of charging right to the left of Anderson as he had covered that puck. It's a tough break. Fresh ice. Martinook a key penalty killer, but we've seen other guys step up. And you'll have Jarvis start with Stahl in his spot, Mike.
That means Eric Robinson will take Jarvis's spot. And Stahl wins the draw back for Burns. He gets it around for Jarvis, can't clear. Washington with a keep in. This puck finds Slavin. He puts it right on the tape of Stahl. Stahl cruising in, makes a move. Strome gets in front of him and does enough to impede the captain from getting a clear look.
I would have gone with high heat instead of the move to the middle like he had on his goal. He's loved this end of the rink going back to Game 7 in 2019, Hopi at the time.
Now it's Washington into the Kane zone. Strome back for Chikrin. Chikrin shot bounces and deflects just wide to the right of Anderson's net. Carolina with another chance to clear, and they'll do it. Excellent work there by Stahl, and he'll let Jarvis go after it. Jarvis into the Washington zone. He'll draw a crowd, and then he'll send it all the way back and take off some time. Smart play here by Carolina. They can chop this one back into the Washington zone. They effectively took off 10 seconds with that little play.
And the clear from Walker, who played 15 minutes and 38 seconds through 2 periods.
Now Washington able to get this back into the Kane zone. Robinson and Aho up top. Orlov filling with Walker. Washington with a keep-in. Blocked by Walker on the Dubois chance, and then he'll shove Dubois down to the ice, but able to get it to Protas, and then Protas throws one, and Leonard and Ovechkin just let it go out of the zone.
Just as comparison, Walker's minutes more than even Slavin. He's as big of an X factor as there's been in the Stanley Cup playoffs, not just this series.
Now here comes a chance for Carolina to clear as Burns to it. He'll bounce one all the way down into the Washington zone. 15 seconds left in the penalty to Martinook. And now Washington will flip that one in, and a bouncer. Skitter just to the left of Anderson. That was dangerous.
It's tough because it bounced well in front of Anderson. You couldn't get close to the bounce.
Now Jarvis with a short-handed opportunity. Cuts in front. Thompson makes the save. Rebound will be cleaned out by Washington. And out of the box comes Martinook. Kane's penalty killers do the job for the 3rd time here tonight.
Jarvis sauced it to himself. Good low save.
Now Washington in control of the puck at their blue line. Sandin plays it forward, looking for Dowd. Nikishin will come and get to it. Around the boards, kept in by Washington's Roy. Behind the net, worked out. Sandin jumps in. He'll take a shove from Jarvis. Now a good play made here by Hall. That'll be chipped out. Hall's taken down. Nothing there. Second chance. Hall just loses his skates there, and Dowd flings this from the right to the left wing boards, but it comes all the way out, and Radish will hand it back. 16-15 left here in the 3rd. We're tied at 1 at Capital One Arena. Chikrin, a backhand one into the Kane zone. Mangiapane will take a hip check from Gostisbehere, and allow Carolina to get Walker out on the ice now. A centering attempt for Beauvillier, but that's broken up.
I've never seen Gostisbehere play this well defensively.
He's been very good. Now Thompson has to play it. He does. He'll get it around Robinson, but not around Blake. Behind the net it goes. Kotkaniemi wanted to get a stick to it. Can't. A chance for Beauvillier. He'll settle things down and drop it for Chikrin. Chikrin long pass up the left wing boards. Touched by McMichael all the way around into the Kane zone.
Chikrin leading the Caps with 3 shots. He's been dangerous all night.
Blake will take a hit, but Carolina is offside going after the puck. That'll stop things with 15:26 left here in this 3rd period.
Okay, partner, so now 2 special team situations. Here's the deal, and you hope history's going to repeat itself. Carolina, their best period of the playoffs, 13-5 edge in goals. The Caps have been outscored 13-11. You don't mind where you're at. 3 power plays for the Caps, 2 for Carolina. Both teams have had their moments. Jarvis's crossbar and then post, but Carolina's big successful challenge on offside on a goal from Roy that would have made it 2-1. Here's where we're at.
You were a history major at Harvard. I would have been a history teacher. We're hoping that history repeats itself.
You betcha.
And here comes Burns. Trying to get it in deep, can't. Deflected and knocked back to the Canes blue line. Chipped around Dowd, though. Stepped into by Stahl, and that allows a chance for Carolina. Coming up along the right wing boards. It's Carrier. Carrier centers it for Martinook. Can't get to it. Burns can. His shot. That's going to be high and over the catch and glove of Thompson. Carolina will keep it in. Martinook. He'll center it out in front, and Carrier couldn't get it through Dowd. Alexiev and Martinook. They'll battle for it in the corner. Around the net, Carrier backhand pass looking for Stahl. That is swatted at. And then this will be cleared by Radish, forcing Burns back into his own zone. Burns up the boards. And he was able to work this one deep for Carrier.
That was a good play from Dowd as the low centerman. Would have been a grade A chance. Came up with that centering attempt. Headed for Stahl's stick from Martinook.
Now Chikrin with it. With 14:25 remaining here in the third. 1-1 game. Protas at the Canes blue line. He'll dump it to the corner to the left of Anderson for Dubois. Pierre-Luc Dubois turns. His shot through traffic doesn't get through. Protas, he centers one that goes across the top of Anderson's paint, but nobody home for Washington. Good keep-in by Dubois, but Wilson couldn't keep an edge. And now it's sent for Svechnikov. Too far. Washington finds Protas. He'll work this into the Cane zone. Stepped into by Walker. Orlov for Svechnikov. And here comes the breakout for Carolina. And the backhand flipped into the Washington zone. Blake. Aho go after it. But Beauvillier will come away with it. Up for Strome. Strome takes a look. Ovechkin shot. Save made by Anderson. And he pounces on the rebound. And afterwards, Ovechkin's given a fling over the top of the Canes netminder. And 13:34 left here in the third. Frederik Andersen with a big save and a big rebound to cover.
Because of his movement, he was already there when Ovechkin shot the puck. Ovechkin went for a rebound. He's battling for the puck. He collides with Anderson. Had he gone there on his own accord, not battling for a puck after Martinook's charge, I think he'd have an argument for goalie interference. But he was trying to cash on the rebound. Outstanding movement from Freddie.
13:34 left here in the third. We're still tied at 1. Canes and Caps at Capital One Arena in Game 5 of the second round of this Eastern Conference playoff. You're listening to Canes Hockey on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Oh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
To us, every moment matters. Moments of quiet perseverance and loud celebrations. Starting moments and the moments that make us feel unstoppable. We're here to help you be present for them all. UNC Health is dedicated to getting you back to what you love. Faster, stronger, and healthier. Official healthcare provider of the Carolina Hurricanes.
13:34 left here in the third period. Canes lead this best-of-7 series 3 games to 1. But Game 5 at Capital One Arena is tied alongside Chip Tracy. Mike Maniscalco here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
Spencer Carberry has given Ovechkin's line every offensive zone start he can. They went to the commercial. They're obviously starting here with the attacking zone draw against Stahl and Slavin and company.
Strome wins it back clean to Carlson. Carlson behind the net looking for Strome, but Stahl is there. He'll get it up for Carrier. Carrier off the boards and out for Martinook. He'll get to it, playing it around Chikrin. Chikrin swatted at him. Martinook gets it in deep. Carrier wanted to keep it, but Strome was able to play it free. Carlson across for Chikrin. Chikrin into the Cane zone. Holding, shooting right on, and absorbing it like jello is Frederik Andersen.
Are you a Jello fan?
No.
Yeah, that was, remember earlier in the game I talked about Carolina sorting out defensively? Chychrun, who has been, that's his 4th shot. That's a high for anybody on either roster tonight. But he changed lanes. He dragged the puck from left to right, from one side to the other in the Carolina zone. But the Hurricanes sorted it out. Everybody had a guy, and so Chychrun had no option but to shoot the puck. It's a heavy shot, but Andersen's relied upon for that save and held on. That's better sorting than earlier in the game.
Defensive zone draw for Aho. He'll get it up to Svechnikov. Back for Aho. Across for Jarvis. Jarvis into the Washington zone. Down the right wing boards. He'll leave it. Svechnikov burns his shot. And that didn't miss by much. Slavin wants to go deep with it. He does. Dubois wants to clear it. He'll get a chance and give it to Wilson. Wilson with it. Wilson into the Kane zone. Has it knocked away neatly by Burns. Loose puck. Kept in by Washington. That'll be deflected away. Burns off his skate. Wants to clear. Can't. Sandin keeps it in. That puck blocked out in front before it can find Andersen. Now Svechnikov wants to chip at it. Wilson will keep it in. Dubois fighting for it. Away from Aho. Slavin seals him off. Protas takes a bump from Burns. Into the corner it goes. Carolina fighting for it. Protas. He goes back to Sandin, who can't keep it in at the blue line.
Because Svechnikov was his guy, Sandin. And he didn't get puck focused because that Sandin was not able to keep it in.
And this is icing on Washington with 12 minutes even remaining here in this third period.
It's already approaching crunch time, isn't it, Mike? And,
yes, it is.
You know, with McMichael, what a year he's had. But playing center ice, no Lars Eller. Eller had really struggled.
Yeah.
But you lose something in the face-off department, and McMichael is going to take this draw. And through 2 periods, he's gone 2 for 12.
Well, he lost that one as Roslovic banked it to Stankoven, who hammered it back, but nobody home for Carolina. Canes, though, get an easy clear out of their zone. Stankoven with it now. He'll chip this in deep to the left of Thompson. Crashing in after it. Hall back up along the boards. Mangiapane will get to it. His pass goes through the legs of Alexiev, but Van Riemsdyk is there. He locates Mangiapane in the Kane zone. Gostisbehere watching him. And Nikishin watching McMichael. Nice play by Alexander Nikishin. And he'll take a shoulder there from Leonard. Wanting to clear. Mangiapane with it. And Leonard runs over Nikishin. And now Carolina rolls it back to Alexiev out in front. McMichael, backhand chance. Save made by Andersen. Rebound chance. Mangiapane can't get to it. Leonard can. McMichael with another chance. That one's blocked. Carolina needs to clear. Roslovic does. And this will not make it for icing. So that's a big break for Carolina.
Gostisbehere with the sliding block. Dubois, the partial breakaway with the left toe earlier in the period. There, the other toe on McMichael Andersen. Really good low.
Now this puck from the other side of center ice rolled in on Andersen. He keeps it moving. Ovechkin couldn't keep it in at the point. Now Sandin along the boards. Andersen will get to it in the trapezoid. Carolina will clear this, but misses everybody, but able to win the skate race is Robinson. So Thompson had to come out and play it, and a bouncing puck eludes Blake, but not Beauvillier. Beauvillier feeds it to Carlson, who comes in. Andersen with a save. It's in the paint, and he'll get a whistle.
Wow. Has he been good? The quality chances in the first half of this period, with just over 10 to play, have been all Washington. Dubois, McMichael, and Carlson had a wave of speed. He won the race to the outside big time. And he made a move to his forehand. That is unlike the collision that Freddie had with Meyer that you can't prepare for it. That's like as much of a Yankees fan as you are. He knows he's got to make the save on Carlson, but he knows there's potential contact coming too. And his rebound control has been stellar because Beauvillier was lurking if there was a second chance, like Wilson was on that Dubois grade A earlier in the period. Big stops.
As a Yankees fan, I'm used to getting the calls, though, Chip. That being said, 10:26 left here in this third period.
You don't want to waste these saves.
No, you do not. I was going to say how often you see it, but the draw is won by Strome to Chychrun. Across for Carlson out in front. Ovechkin's there. Second chance for Strome in the high slot. That's forked wide. Carolina needing to clear. Nice play by Slavin to get it to Burns. Burns is going to clear it up for Martinook. Martinook finds Carrier to Stahl. Stahl, top of the left circle. Can't get the shot through Chikrin. Worked all the way around the boards for Burns. Burns fires one, and that's deflected over the glass into the netting. 9:59 left here in this third period. Carolina, Washington, tied at 1 here in Game 5. Could be the series clincher for Carolina. You're listening to the Hurricanes Radio Network.
For almost a decade, the Hurricanes have trusted their t-shirt needs with Cardinal Apparel. Carolina Hurricanes alumni Shane Willis here to tell you Cardinal Apparel has expanded and relocated to better serve their clients across the state. Formerly known as Raleigh Screen Print, Cardinal Apparel will produce high-quality screen printing while working directly with customers. Don't waste your time online trying to order through third-party vendors. Save money and time working with Cardinal Apparel. Visit cardinalapparel.com to start your order today.
Barbecue season is back. Hey, it's Ellen. And this is Sarah Beth. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese.
I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and our Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Who wants to save up to $1 a gallon on gas with Harris Teeter fuel points? It's easy. Shop at Harris Teeter with your Vic card. Earn 1 fuel point for every $1 spent. Redeem your points for gas savings at Harris Teeter fuel centers in our partnering Amoco and BP gas stations. You can even check your fuel points in the Harris Teeter app. Get 4 times the fuel points when you shop on Fridays. Harris Teeter, in food with love.
Halfway through the third period, Hurricanes and Capitals are tied at 1 here in game number 5. Alongside Trip Tracy with our technical tandem of Pat Malley in the booth here in Washington, D.C. Rusty Helzer back in Raleigh. We've got 10 minutes left here in regulation in a 1-1 game.
As big of a goal as there was in the series, Svechnikov in the second period diving in off the faceoff in game 3. He's on the interior. Jarvis is on the other wing. You're going to probably need a dive in here.
Well, there is your dive in from Svechnikov to get it to Jarvis. He'll leave it for Aho. He'll play it to himself behind the net. Turn away from Wilson. Back up top. Slavin chance. Deflected out in front. What? It was swatted at by Jarvis and just wide. Now a rebound chance for Svechnikov. That's deflected away. Washington gets it to Dubois. Back up the left wing boards. Dubois hangs on to it. He goes across for Roy through traffic. Anderson uses the catching glove and he'll frame that one and get a whistle.
Carolina's best look of the period, in my opinion. Svechnikov dove in, turned a lost draw into a 1 draw, and then Aho held onto the puck instead of getting antsy below the goal line. Went high to low. The initial shot hit the pad of Thompson on one side, and Jarvis tried to spin off of Sandin. Sandin was able to get a stick on the shooting motion of Jarvis at the last second.
Now Washington wins this draw, and the offering there was sent just wide. Carolina will get to this puck. Nice play made here by Carrier. He'll go in deep and he'll bump Strome. Behind the net it goes. Martinook helping out. Back into the corner it finds its way to the right of Thompson. And Carrier pulled that one back. Here's Orlov. He'll hand this one out in front as Stahl wanted to center it. Chikrin with an outstanding defensive play. Now Strome finds Beauvillier. He'll chip it past Gostisbehere, and again that line keeping Ovechkin and company in their own zone.
This is the Jacob Chikrin that signed a lucrative 8-year deal that'll start next year. He just made a great play on a passing lane situation.
You make the case this is his best game.
It is.
As Nikishin tried to keep it in.
I think he was clipped in the chin with a high stick. No call, Nikishin.
I think he was as Washington works this back in. Nikishin tries to chip it out. Dowd is there. But a nice play made along the boards. As Carolina's Taylor Hall helps get it out. Now it's Roslovic. Jack Roslovic rolls this one around the top of the dasher boards. Settled down Burns. He'll gap up on Dowd. Loose puck, center ice. Kotkaniemi. He'll get some help from Hall. They'll fight for it just in front of the penalty box. This will be chipped back into the Washington zone.
Good interchange here between Alexiev and Roy. Alexiev has struggled in this series. It's been his best game tonight.
7:45 remaining here in this third period. Hurricanes and Capitals tied at 1. Now pass too far from McMichael. Carolina will center it out to the middle of the rink, but Leonard will intercept it. He'll try to go around, tries the short side, and just getting a piece is Anderson. Now here comes Robinson. Drop this one back out in front as Kotkaniemi wanted a little feed there for Robinson driving the net. Now Kotkaniemi goes to the end boards. Behind the net to the right of Thompson. Blake comes out with it. Blake gets it up top. Dusting it off. Orlov. His shot blocked. That goes over the glass into the netting with 7:07 remaining here in this third period. Still tied at 1.
Quality plays by Leonard at both ends. He had a pretty good shooting opportunity. In one end, Anderson was able to fight it off on the blocker side, and then Orlov, who does such a nice job dragging it to the middle to become more dangerous just inside the Washington blue line, and Leonard is able to stick with him and get a piece of the shot just as Dimitri was firing away.
Now the Aho line back out for this offensive zone draw, but it's won by Washington and company. Carlson will flip it into the Kane zone. Protas wanted to make a play, and Shane Gostisbehere just used his momentum to get the puck, and now Carolina can take it the other way. Svechnikov down the right wing boards. Wants to center it. Protas, though, gets in front of that pass. Alexei Protas has it in his skates right at the center ice dot. He'll flip into the Canes zone. And Protas has a hit for Svechnikov, but the Canes make a play, and now Gostisbehere with it behind his net. His pass knocked down. Protas keeps it in just at the right point. Now Gostisbehere out in front looking for Wilson too far. Protas spins. That misses everything. Sandin along the left wing board sends it in deep. Strome taking off the puck in Carolina.
I've never seen Gostisbehere play like this defensively. I mean, he's been good in the second half here. He's gone to a different level tonight.
Carolina trying to get a little offensive zone time here. Carrier. He swats at Beauvillier, but Beauvillier able to get it free. And on the Kane zone, but that'll be icing on this group with 5:57 left here in this third period. Canes Caps tied at 1.
Hey, I thought Rod might keep the stall line on the ice for this zone draw, but he's going to go right back to the Hall line. Jack Roslovic, his biggest face-off so far in this series.
Roslovic against Strome. He'll win it to Stankoven. He'll drop this one back. Darting down the boards is Slavin. Wanted to get a backhander through, but that's intercepted, and now Strome has it. Strome, he'll flip this one in. Anderson will blocker that one to the corner. Beauvillier will get to it. His line mates will change up, and Hall will come away with it. And Beauvillier away with a mini hook. This one has worked for Stankoven into the Washington zone. Logan Stankoven leads all rookies in goals in this postseason with 3. Try to take the puck away from Roy. It'll be fished free. And Duhaime, he's speeding into the Kane zone. Orlov flips the puck off of his stick. Washington works it around, but too short for Chychrun. Right on the Stankoven stick. Stankoven will flip one to the left of the net of Thompson. Carolina has Robinson go after it. Chychrun around for Radish. At the far boards, knocked down. Orlov. Carolina will get it to Kotkaniemi, but offside was Carolina with 4:52 left here in this third period. Game number 5. Washington needs a win to keep it going. Carolina, a win, and they're going to the Eastern Conference Final. You're listening to Canes coverage in a 1-1 game in the third period of the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
Canes fans, something big is happening this season. Our favorite hometown technology giant, Lenovo, is celebrating 20 years in the Triangle, and we're all getting in on the fun. Grab your jersey and meet us at the Lenovo Center, the new name of the home arena of the Carolina Hurricanes. The Lenovo Center is just a slap shot away from Lenovo's headquarters in the Triangle. Come celebrate and cheer on the Canes this season at the Lenovo Center.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
Hey everyone, Adney and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch this movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit, and the cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
4:52 remaining in regulation. 1-1 game. Game 5 of this best of 7 Eastern Conference playoff matchup. Hurricanes lead the series 3-1. Trip Tracy, Mike Maniscalco here with you on the call.
First 10 minutes of this period, or nearly that, I'd give the edge to the Caps, and Anderson 2 or 3 A-saves. Now the Hurricanes have started to push. You know, and you're in a situation where now the Caps season is truly on the line, or do nerves enter the equation? And can it be a benefit if Carolina plays just with a little bit of beneficial looseness?
The Canes will find a way to get the puck in the Washington zone for now. Svechnikov. He bodies up along the boards on Protas and dropped it back to Dubois, who's watched by Aho. Cross for Chikrin. Chikrin plays it for Roy. Wilson. This will be icing on Washington as Wilson left his skates for no apparent reason. A big offensive zone draw for Carolina.
And here comes Rod with the stall line. Truthfully, the other 3 lines, I want to see them adopt the mindset that the stall line with Carey and Martinook have. Establishing the trenches and the goal line offensively. Going low to high. Making your defense by making the zone bigger. Dangerous offensively. A little bit of a delay here for Roy. Skate issue. So I believe because of that, they're going to allow him to change. I think he has to get a new skate blade. You don't mind him being off the ice.
As Washington wins the drawback for Carlson, he'll clear the zone. And the Caps can change up. As Wilson heads to the bench, Carolina flicks this one back in. Stahl behind the net for Martinook. Wanted to find Carrier. Beauvillier gets in front of that, but this line with another heavy shift. Putting this one into the corner. Trying to find Stahl. Chikrin has a push. It'll work its way free and back to the Canes blue line. We're Slavin. Quickly for Burns. It's worked into the opposite corner. Sandin gives it away. Carrier with a shot. Stahl out in front. Rebound still there. Thompson gets a piece to keep it out. Oh, this line almost had their second goal of the night. The captain right out in front.
So Slavin and Stahl just having finished a shift. Their lines in that deep pairing. Does Carberry come back with the Ovechkin line knowing he'll get a matchup?
Well, Stankoven with it now. Trying to pull away from Duhaime. Loose puck. Works its way out. Mangiapane. Andrew Mangiapane. It's his first season with Washington. Rims it around. Puck goes off of Gostisbehere. Mangiapane wants to get to it, but Taylor Hall is there. Hall reverses it. Chikrin jumps in along the left wing boards. Stankoven has to play it away from Mangiapane, and he does. It'll be picked up here by Walker. Walker up the boards. He finds Hall. Hall had it in his skates, and he's bumped into by Duhaime, and a loose puck spurts free. Orlov wanted to get it in deep, but Radish knocks it down. And then Orlov knocks down Dowd, who had the puck.
Well, he knew that he needed to get that puck deep. You'll take it from anybody, but the script at this point would be the former Cap Orlov factoring in.
2:35 left here in regulation. Tied at 1. Radish in deep for Beauvillier. Beauvillier trying to muscle his way out front. Puck behind the net of Frederick Anderson. Work to the corner for Jarvis. Jarvis, he'll play it away, looking for Aho, just too far. And now Sandin snaps it to Strome. Ovechkin tees it up, and that's blocked. Just shaving a piece of it for Carolina with Sean Walker, who's having a marvelous series. Now here's Jarvis. Could be a 3-on-2 for Carolina. Svechnikov. He'll get it right back from Walker, and he scores! A sharp angle! Andrei Svechnikov! He beats Thompson, and Carolina, with 1:59 to go, takes a 2-1 lead.
Mike, those sharp angle shots, that has been the kryptonite of Thompson this entire series. And that puck just had eyes. As good as Thompson's been in the dangerous areas, he has really been vulnerable on the sharp angled shots. Walker has been beyond A+ in this game. Blocked an Ovechkin shot, then made a key pass to Jarvis in transition up the middle. Svechnikov tried to go to Walker. Walker went back to Svechnikov. Thompson did not honor the shot because Svechnikov was practically against the boards on the goal line. Don't waste a shot. And don't ever pass up an opportunity from a sharp angle against a non-committed goaltender from those low percentage angles. What a moment. Work to be done. Great call.
Well, you said it would have been apropos to be Dmitry Orlov. But how about Andrei Svechnikov and his history? That's his 8th postseason goal. But now there's an empty net for Washington. With 1:38 left, Carolina chops this one all the way down as Thompson's on the bench for the extra attacker. Carolina ices the puck. 1:37 left to go here in regulation.
I have one candid comment because you got to worry about preserving this margin now. For all of the, I would call it lazy narratives about Carolina being a shot volume team. Well, what if Svechnikov passes up that shot? Because it's such a low percentage shot. Well, I hope people go to school on that as to why it is so critical to Carolina playing Carolina hockey.
Now, there's another lazy narrative that the Canes play boring hockey. I'll call it winning hockey right now, but still work to be done here. 1:37 left in this third period. Carolina with a 2-1 lead. Andrei Svechnikov with 1:59 left. Coming up with his 8th goal of the postseason. Washington wins the draw. Back for Karlsson. Chychrun with a shot. Kicked away with the right leg of Anderson. Oh, massive save there. Chychrun. He'll play it along the board. Strome will keep it in. Karlsson. He just needs to have a one-touch into the corner. Burns waves at it. Behind the net, Dubois. He plays it along the boards where Wilson will get it to Karlsson. Washington, a shot is deflected before it can make its way to Anderson. Now this one's chipped out off the boards and to center ice. Karlsson. Washington's got to tag up. Wilson carries it in. Washington onside. Wilson going behind the net. Slavin with a defensive play. Then trying to make another one on Wilson in the corner. 53 seconds to go here in Washington. Chipped along the boards. Martinuk with Svechnikov and Aho. Dubois. He loses sight. Burns takes aim. A little bouncer. He's going to need some help. And there is no icing on this one as there's 37 seconds left. Svechnikov tries to come up with it. Washington out in between the blue lines. Chychrun has it knocked away by Jarvis. Now Jarvis has an empty net. Jarvis, bingo! The Canes, 26.1 seconds away from going back to the Eastern Conference Finals. Seth Jarvis, empty net goal, 3-1 Carolina.
Way to go, baby. What a shift by Jacob everybody. But Jacob Slavin just put on a cape defensively. Before you eventually get the puck out, you nullified icing because Burns got a lot on his clearing attempt. Washington got a glove on it at the Carolina blue line. That nullified icing. And then it gets back to the neutral zone. You cause a turnover, and Jarvis has put this thing to bed. And Carolina now will be 15-5, 10 goals more than their opponents in third periods in the first and second round.
20 seconds left here in Washington. Sandin with it at his own goal line. He'll send this one across. Van Riemsdyk all the way down in the Kane zone. That'll be icing. And 8.8 seconds is all that's stopping Carolina from getting their ticket punched to the Eastern Conference Final.
What a series he's had, but how about the saves in the first half of this period? Dubois, McMichael, Carlson by the Great Dane. And he has been, in all caps, no pun intended, the Great Dane in these playoffs and in this series.
As this puck goes to the corner, and the clock hits 0, and the Carolina Hurricanes have won this second round series with a 3-1 win here tonight. They take the series 4-1, and they will advance, and they'll take on the winner of the Florida-Toronto series that still has a little bit left in that one. And I got to give credit where it's due. Start of this game, my partner Chip Tracy said, you shoot it from the sharp angles because that is where Thompson has had the problems. And the Canes, both their goals with Thompson in the net were sharp angles. Stahl, Svechnikov, and the Canes are going back to the conference finals. It's their third time in 7 years.
You know, there's so much in my mind, and I'm going to let you take the handshakes, which is one of the most fabulous things in hockey, and the ties between these two teams. But I've had enough of the shot volume narrative, because if you didn't believe in it, Svechnikov doesn't shoot that puck. And Svechnikov began his postseason career in 2019 in this building. It's a team win, and everybody's pulling on the rope. But how about the 2 consecutive series now that Andrei Svechnikov has had against New Jersey and now Washington? You think about his departure in scary fashion in Game 3 of his rookie year, the way he was playing, and he was the difference among many. How about Sean Walker tonight? Just across the board. Mike, how gratifying this handshake has to be for Dmitry Orlov, having won a Stanley Cup with Washington,